afternoon, boys, girls, and MBs. Welcome back to day 2 of the Due Process League. I'm Spaceman, that is Corelli. We will be your host for this weekend, bringing you through all the action. Yesterday, we went the distance just once, and everything else was essentially a 7-2 game on the side of KHAOS versus Mos Eisley Cantina, and we had a really great game to close out the day. But today is where things get interesting, because not only have teams begin to warm up, but we have one day of action down, Corelli, and now we jump into at least a title match to begin our matches here today. But talk to me a little bit about how you're feeling for day 2 of the league and what you're looking forward to most.
Yeah, day 2, we're chugging along here. This is going to be a long league as well. So weeks and weeks of due process to come. This is only the second day of week 1. And you're right, day 1 was a lot of fun yesterday. We got to see, like you said, one of our series go the distance. We also got to see a lot of great execution from teams like KHAOS. I really enjoyed what we saw from the teams. And I think today, Spaceman, as you've alluded to, could be even better.
Yeah, today could be something special. So if you're new here and you want to get more information about what Due Process is, how you can play it, how you can watch it, support it, all that great stuff, first and foremost, in Steam, go to Due Process and find the game to play it. It's on sale for a while, and it's a great opportunity to get involved with a title that has been combining so many different spaces of the FPS genre. So there's a QR code on your screen. Go ahead, scan it. And you can also go to dueprocess.info to find more information about the game, the community specifically, and maybe how you can eventually play in one of these tournaments here in the Due Process League, because this game's just been really great to watch, to play, to jump into, and it's got a nice retro throwback that feels really cool when you get in. So make sure you keep yourself involved with all of that. We'll have the QR codes pushed out for the majority of the stream, and of course links pushed around, whether it's in the Twitch chat or down below in the channel description here on Twitch, the Due Process League, and find more ways to get involved. Let's talk a little bit more about the format, though. Really, we saw it yesterday. For people who are kind of new here jumping in, it's very straightforward in some interesting ways with Swiss, but our essential nuts and bolts here are just we play 2 series, and you can win or tie or lose, but it's the first to 12, it's the first to 7 rounds, 12 rounds in total. What has that brought to the table in terms of how teams have been executing and that kind of straightforward approach for our competition? Has it changed any of the ways that you expected this tournament to go?
Well, I think the biggest thing that we've seen, especially from yesterday, as I think many players who have played this game for a long time know, winning on your attacking side means so much. We've seen a lot of these wins come out, series wins come out through the defensive work of the teams, and taking away attacking wins is going to be crucial to getting to that 7-point win. Speaking of 7, this is going to be a 7-week-long Swiss format. We'll play 2 series every day, Saturday and Sunday, and we play a set of 2. Spaceman, you said it just a second ago. It's 2 matches, no matter what. Win, lose, tie. You can win, lose, tie your first one, win, lose, tie your second one, and then you're done against the same team. And you'll play 2 of those per weekend. You get 2 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, and no points for a loss.
You better win your games. That's what we learned yesterday. We also learned that ties are sometimes fine if you're able to kind of sneak down to the ends of rounds. We saw Q Process versus Benoit yesterday, which looked like it was going to continue to go back and forth between both squads. It did in the first game. The second, not so much, but they were still able to squeak out a couple of key rounds. And for Benoit, they'll have a chance to bounce back from being 0-2 yesterday. For Q Process, they continue to chug along. And with that, talking about chugging along, let's talk about our schedule for today, because we have 2 more series that we're going to be covering. Again, 2 series per matchup, and only 2 series here on the mainstream today. The first one's going to be Cave Dummies versus Arise. The second will be KHAOS versus Frogs. But I do want to focus here on Cave Dummies versus Arise, because Corelli, when we just looked at the pure stats, when we just looked at the rankings overall, these are the top 2 teams that have only dropped 1 or 2 rounds apiece going against each other. This is a title spot for #1 overall in the league today, and I expect it to be a highly contested matchup. What are your thoughts?
Arise comes into this matchup and into this league, I think, trying to defend a title here. And I mean, statistically, you look at some of their players and they have dominated in the preseason. Again, a lot of these stats are coming from the preseason. They're a little spotty for some players, but overall, I think Arise has been through and through one of the strongest teams, if not the strongest team, as we saw in the preseason. They're going to be a lot of fun, and especially one stat in particular. I don't want to dive into it too deeply here, Spaceman. One stat in particular, I look at some of these players like Noon or Lacking, players that get a lot of opening kills. I think that's a huge key to success in any type of game where you have some sort of bomb that you're trying to retake. So important for those opening kills. Keep a lookout for that from Arise.
Keep a lookout for some of the star players. Again, we'll jump through some of the rosters before we get ready to jump into game. And somebody in chat says, I hear it's almost time for predictions. You're absolutely right. Go ahead and use your channel points to get those predictions in, who you think's going to win. I don't know if we have anything tied to those, but just for the sake of being whimsical, go ahead.
We'll figure it out.
Anyway.
We'll figure
it out. That's right. Cave Dummies versus Arise for our first match of the day. Remember, you can get involved with Due Process at dueprocess.info or by checking out the game on Steam and seeing the QR code on your screen, which you can go ahead and scan with your phone, which should open up the game page. So go ahead and get involved with this game if you're new and you're wondering what Due Process is all about. It's tack shooter. It's round-based offense versus defense. It goes to 12 rounds in competitive, but it takes 7 to win. And with that, we've seen yesterday, Corelli, where teams can get ahead on their competition and roll round after round into 5-1, 6-1, 7-2 victories. And even though the games last a while, it does feel like when a team starts to get steam, they can close out these rounds really quickly.
Yeah, a player that I think really showed that, or at least epitomized that from Q Process yesterday was Tiger Driver. Really impressed with the way he worked out throughout the rounds. Not only the aggression coming out, but I think the percentage of winning his engagements was so high on those aggressive pushes, led his team to success so many times. That was something that we saw even on Dome when he pushed through Castle, I think late in that second series, got to trade it out, but the damage was already done. His team was able to push in, win Castle, and then from there win the round. So I feel like Tiger Driver, the way he played those rounds yesterday, huge shout out to him. I think Q Process were better for it.
Yeah, we've had some players step up to the plate and become MVPs of their matches. We'll see more of that here today. Remember, let's actually, don't remember anything. Scratch that. Reverse it. Let's go to the rosters because I want to talk a little bit about the Cave Dummies versus Arise matchup that we have on your screen. These are the confirmed players for the match. Again, this is your #1 Cave Dummies versus #2 Arise, but they're both tied at 2-0. It's just a map differential at this point. I should say a round differential. Cave Dummies losing 1 less round than Arise. This is quite literally Attack of the Titans. This is back and forth between 2 paramount teams, and I can't wait to see what we get going in. Corelli, is it going to take a one-man effort like we saw yesterday with Tiger Driver, or are we going to get much more methodical, much more compact team play across the board for offense and defense? What are your thoughts?
I think it's gonna take a whole team from Cave Dummies because individually Arise statistically coming into this match, I mean, boy, oh boy, some of these players put on some great stats. You just take a look at a player like Noon, one of the highest rated players in the game coming out of the preseason, 3rd highest in kills, 1st in opening kills. I mean, 2nd highest in kill damage. This guy is all over the place for Arise, and I think really shows high impact players really lead to team success, and that's why I'm saying for Cave Dummies, I feel like it's going to take everyone to try and win these engagements early, especially Arise. Obviously, a very aggressive team in the way that they open up their rounds. Cave Dummies are going to have to figure that out early.
Big-time players make
big-time plays. You got it.
That's right. Yesterday, we saw the wall charge get used a couple of times. We saw an anti-clack once.
Yeah, we did.
I don't know if we'll get it again today, but I would love to see, at least between 2 teams that are at this tip of the competition, at the top of the cream of the crop. We're gonna go with that. I would love to see what kind of counterplays we get and what kind of parity we see at this level. Do you think we're gonna see like anti-clocks or fake wall charges or anything like that today?
We might. We did see, I would say, quite a few kills coming out from either as you said, a door charge and a wall charge. I think we had 2 or 3 wall charge kills yesterday.
We did.
So that was kind of fun to watch, and of course the anti-clack as well. So I think so. I think through the aggression and the creativity that we've seen from some of these teams, I do think we'll probably see at least 1 wall charge kill. That's my bet.
I'd like that. That'd be fun for today. Use your channel points to predict who you think is going to win in the chat. And we will be taking one of our viewers from the chat and directly putting them in the game as a character. And you can play as them and
that's not true. That's not true.
Hashtag rise up, hashtag let them rise, hashtag rise for the boys in the chat. Let's get it going. Cave Dummies versus Arise for our first match of the day. Again, 2 series on the screen, 12 rounds in total. That's it. No overtime. 1st to 7 wins. If you tie 6-6, you tie, you get 1 point. 2 points per game win, 4 points in total for winning the series. Again, both these teams come into this Corelli undefeated, and only by round count does Cave Dummies have the edge slightly in first place. So this is a fight for seeding for sure, a fight between 2 top teams. And for Arise, looking at the preseason stats, as you and I were a couple days ago, like Arise is maybe like the heaviest hitting team to beat when it came to like talking about the narrative of this season. But Cave Dummies came out, and it's one thing to see a team go 7-2 yesterday in KHAOS playing against Mos Eisley Cantina. KHAOS's defense was fantastic. Their offense didn't really have to do too much. Arise and Cave Dummies are 2 of the best defensive teams in the league just by stats. So this is going to be a game 1 on the small moments in offense today. And I don't know how that's going to play, but it does feel exciting to see that we could be going the distance every single time.
And that's why I'm saying I think these attacking rounds, we really have to look at how the execution goes for the attackers on both sides, because those attacking rounds are going to come far and few between, I think, for high-quality defensive squads. So when we take a look at what's working and what's not working for teams, that's going to be the big difference maker, I think, between the two.
Well, as we wait to get into our first match of the day for Cave Dummies Arise, I'm just looking over at the game and I'm seeing that Benoit is currently playing against Arcadian and potentially in just some scrims. But that was a match that we watched yesterday when it was Q Process versus Benoit, and that was a match that went the distance all the way down to the final few rounds in the first series, I should say, and then the second Q Process kind of picked up steam. And that's what we saw from a couple teams outside of the outlier of KHAOS. It did seem like once teams figured out how each other played, one made the adjustments and started to steamroll, the others kind of got caught behind. I don't expect that to be a conversation you and I will be having here, Corelli, versus Cave Dummies and Arise. It feels like at this level of competition between two teams that have been so efficient in their stats, in their overall ranking, there might not be a big steamroll that we see. It could very well be a back and forth battle all the way down to round 25 or 6.
Yeah, it very well could be. As we jump into game one here, Arise on the attacking side. So like we said, big focus here on what the attack will be and how they'll shape up. A 3-2 split will be, I think, the call here for Arise right off the bat. Cave Dummies, I don't know, really stacking the barbed wire there in storage. I'm not sure what that's about, but looks like they will be holding a mop in office as well. And we've seen a lot of the 3-2 split come out, Spaceman, and I feel like it has worked for teams like KHAOS more often than not, but we have seen teams bungle it a little bit, especially when it comes from the initial push on non-red doors. So this server push, for example, that I think we're going to see out of Arise. If they can win servers without dropping too many, it allows the push from office, I think, to free up a little bit more. And then look at those sight lines you have down around the bomb. I think if they can execute that well, this round will go well for them.
The hardest part at times has been executing on first blood, especially on the early break. So again, keeping numbers up will be the name of the game for the top teams in this tournament, let alone this matchup specifically. Get your predictions in, and it's always great that we can have players draw on the map. I think it's one of the best game features I've seen out of a small title, especially a tactical FPS. But guess what? It's time for game number one, Cave Dummies versus Arise, the first series on the day. Revive me, Jet. We'll see how it goes. Jet holding storage. Arise, the swing went out on noon towards dockside, but everybody else committing to that early server push.
Sosic with the mop as well. We'll have a bit of a sight line into servers, but right now not looking at it, and shots going down early. I think some information gathered here from Chrome Trigger, now rightfully backing off, but they know where Arise is coming from.
Timber's already on the push. Was able to get one on Juker. Immediately gets traded, though. Into the corner we go as both teams vying for pinstripes in the kill feed. Jet on the opposite angle, holding the mezzanine, gets caught quickly out of office. And now things start to devolve as more players will drop. One last alive is Dylan. And they clutch the 1v4. It's going to be tough.
Oh, there's one. It's a good start, and you have information here on where the next player is, but you've got to dispose of them quickly. Takes care of Lacking. Maybe a third as well. Zigalo goes down. And a 1v1 now for Dylan, and it's noon, and we'll take him out instead. Ooh. Dylan not ready on that right side, and wow, sparks fly immediately in round one.
Yeah, that's a pretty damn good effort if I'm Dylan. I know you didn't get the round, but you at least made it close, and that's what we're going to expect going into this series. We shouldn't just be seeing 1v3s as save now. It should be, do I have a window to make a play? If so, how feasible is this clutch? And Dylan gets 3 in the round, could close the 1v4, but did enough to make it interesting. And Corelli, for a first round, that ain't too bad.
Not too bad. That push was perfect on the Arise side. Winning office so quickly, eliminated Sosic on the mop, and then that push through servers. Without the mop holding over office, it was much easier for Arise to push in, and you could see how quickly things fell into place. And we talked about how crucial the attacking side is going to be. Well,
yep.
Arise up 1-0 on an attacking side.
Noon was hitting towards storage side. Again, worked the docks angle, and with it, holds on to Clack. So we're just going to kind of randomly point out those little saves, those little moments where one team might be able to hold advantage. Again, it's still important when keeping util against a top team like Cave Dummies. Every little bit matters. And Corelli, you talked about the pretty flawless execution on offense, but Again, it comes down to a situation where a 1v4, 1v3 turns into a 1v1. Are we going to see a lot of these really perfect early rounds divulge into just straight up gunfights?
Oh, absolutely. Especially when we saw yesterday, you know, things would fall apart for some teams and it'd be a 3v1, and you would always count out that one player right off the bat. You're looking at Cave Dummies, you're looking at Dylan. He's in a 1v4 and he brought it all the way down to a 1v1. So capable players on both sides. Going to make this one interesting.
It looks like we're going to at least get a smoke towards jungle side. We saw yesterday player from Benoit hit jungle through water, use parkour, get a 1v2, and unfortunately got caught. But it was about making plays in crunch time that really did set the difference between two teams. Only once or twice did we see Benoit hit Beach. But for today, I don't know if Beach between these two teams will be as strong of a call outside of maybe rotate one player late, because that is a bit of a choke point. If you don't get drawbridge down quickly, you get smoked. You're getting covered from places like jungle, from base, from castle. There's a lot of different ways your ARs as a defense can set up on this map to shut down a beach push. So I'm curious what the call might be and where they might be hitting, as it looks like they're putting a lot of attention over the top of jungle and really focusing on that drawbridge.
Yeah, again, we talked about it yesterday. Getting a control of castle is so important. The reason for that is all the sightlines you have into quite literally every other part of the map. That's why it's so important. That's why teams try and push into it. And that's why defenders try and stack it as well. You can keep that power position here on this map. And you're right. Let's see. Looks like from what Arise put down, they're going straight through the green door here on the northern side of jungle.
See how round 2 goes, how the dust settles. As already, we had a 1v something that turned into a spicy round 1 for Arise. They take it on the opening attack. They will follow suit into round number 2. Do they have a sophomore slump in their pocket, or another successful round as they look for the break?
Look at this from Chrome Trigger. He knows, and he's hiding in the brush. If he could just trade out 1, maybe 2. He does trade out, but 2 go down on the side of Arise, so great work. And I think it was actually Lacking who killed Juker by accident. So a positive trade in the end for Chrome Trigger.
Lenate, last one alive in the defensive round of round 1. And a bit of a choke point. Would cause some damage here to the offense. KR8 in hand. Oh, T-posed. And runs towards beachside. With it, repositioning begins quickly as Timber. There's footsteps around the door, and the approach from Arise begins.
Oh, interesting. He knows there's at least 1, probably 2. Runs into another as Timber's running for his life. He's getting away with it, though. Jet goes down. Zigalo getting control, at least of the western side of Castle. Sachi and Sosik, they collide. Sosik wins that one. And while defenders are pushing back, it's 3v2 in favor of the defenders.
78 HP. First flash is out. Lacking. Going for a bit of a long roto up towards castle side. Timber in a precarious spot at 10. Soski on beach. 40 HP. The collapse still winding. 40 seconds to go. Shots ring out. Can't win it through the bunker. And another big choke point happening where it looks like Lacking caught in no man's land is just absolutely fried. Unfortunately, in that round, the defenders do take it.
You forgot about their anchor, Dylan, sitting in the back, wasn't really involved early in any of those fights through castle or jungle and even into base. But he comes out big here on the beach fight and mops up the last 2 players, or at least contributes to it. And defenders taking that one.
Look like you out there.
don't
It's a compliment.
him.
I'm saying it's a compliment. You play very good. You're my little Dylan.
That's disrespectful to him.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I've never seen you do the 1v3. Let's go to C-Store, the best map in the game. The call might be arcade hit this time.
Ooh.
No. Maybe not.
What's interesting is you can really see how Cave Dummies are thinking about where the attackers can come from, because they actually draw like their attackers at the opening start of these rounds to say, hey, okay, maybe they're going to come through arcade. Maybe they're going to come through entrance. Here's where we need to be looking. And of course, you do have always one artist on the team. That's Timber.
On here.
It's a little campfire.
Oh, that's so sick.
It's a team.
We do have a designated artist, 1 per team every round. It's kind of nice.
True.
Better than what our pub players have been drawing when we've been hopping on the game.
It's better than what you draw.
I draw fine Renaissance art, okay?
3-2 split is going to be
Go ahead,
the call,
talk about
I
the
think.
3-2 split, buddy.
I'm going to talk about the 3-2 split. Let me draw
pull that up
this one. Go ahead and draw me the 3-2 split.
Is it the arcade hit? Pirelli, is that where we're going?
It is. It's an arcade hit. It's an entrance hit as well with that wall charge. Defenders should be positioned quite nicely for this as far as what they've been drawing up here. Obviously, this arcade push can be very, very strong, considering winning arcade can open up the breaker, can open up into teller as well. You can kind of swarm in down the south side into storefront and get win sight lines into the bomb. But the the defenders do have barbed wire sitting in just about every spot the attackers are going to run into. So hopefully that can slow them down enough.
Patience is a virtue. And Skoski in the bathroom would spoil the dreams of this round number 3. 2 minutes on the clock. Breach is in. The clack clacks. And here we go.
Good clear coming out from Zigolo, and a little push out the bathroom. Zigolo trying to keep his bearings here. He knows there's one, at least one in bathroom, as Chrome Trigger tried to get some damage down. Patience here coming out of Arise.
Jet holds the storefront. Juker waiting carefully through crossfire, avoids one molly touch. Skoski will pick the opening pick. First blood. For now.
Yeah, that was a great first pick from Sosik. You can see how slow this push is from Arise. Juker's creeped up to the bomb, and he will start pulling the defuse. That'll make the defense scramble a little bit. Flashes come out. Trades come out as well. Chrome Trigger takes down Zigolo. Juker and Chrome Trigger trade out as well. Noon and Lackey clean up 2 more. It's just Dylan and Jet left alive. Can they make something happen? Dylan goes down. Jet in a 1v3, and he's swarmed around from every angle. And Arise slowly but surely crept around that bomb and made the defense think.
Hacking did so much to draw out this round. Again, playing from arcade side and really kept the slow roto through those blue doors, hit the east side of storefront, and did a great job regrouping with his squad as Noon went in for the cleanup. There was a couple instances where it looked like Cave Dummies were going to have to stack either freezer or back bomb, and instead they take a one-on-one that maybe they weren't ready for, as Arise did a phenomenal job of retaking site.
Yeah, that was very smooth from Arise, and it's interesting how when an attacking team gets up to that bomb and they just tap it, all of a sudden defenses realize, hey, we have a gap somewhere where we can't see the diffuser, nor did we see him creep up to that bomb. So both wins for Arise coming on the attacking side. And now we switch. Arise on their first defensive side here on Factory, and Cave Dummies. We'll get to see what they can do on the attacking side.
Do we go Docs again? From round 1. Why not? I think that's where Dylan wants to go.
We haven't really seen any team push Doc, at least from the attacking side.
Yeah, we had one round yesterday where we had a full commit to Doc, and then it was very over quickly after that. So
yeah. There's probably a good reason why we haven't seen too many Doc pushes, but I think we might get one,
guys. Come on.
I think we're getting one here.
I want Dylan to lead the charge.
Looks like it will be Noon on the mop, sitting just ahead of Doc on the walkways. Interesting, we mostly see teams put the mop into the office, but I do think there's a little bit more versatility, a little bit more agency working on the walkways with the mop. And it will be a great call if they are able to spot out the Doc push.
Should get at least one smoke towards site. Usually expected. This one's difficult though. If power does go out, again, play like a little bit of a rat on defense. It's tough to see and tough to find good LOS when there's no lights on. So what do? Play close corners. Play close to bomb. Here we go. Round 4 on your screen. Instead of going docks, we will again be committing towards server side.
Yeah, nobody picked up the torch. So I think it's going to be a server and office split is probably what it's going to be. Little Riot Shield walk in there. It will be Lacking who will get the information. Though I think the defense is well aware of what's happening. Dylan gathering more information. Juker taking down Jet. And Sachion Sosik as well. So already attacking side struggling to just break in cleanly.
Chrome Trigger went office. They used a charge. Zigalo trying to pick it up. Does so just in time. Nicely read. Quickly on the rotation. Flank goes nowhere. Dylan and Timber last alive. Timber picks up a shot. Sniper in his hands is good for 1. Looking for 2. Dylan begins to rotate.
Noon is holding Dylan here with the Riot Shield. Oh, careful. That's not the peek you wanted. Noon taking down Timber, and he was just staring at the Riot Shield, then peeked out from behind the Riot Shield. And Noon says, thank you very much. How about you sit down?
Riot Shield slow creep into your teammate getting blasted by a snipe is like just, it's peak offensive push. It's fantastic.
The first person view there from Noon I was watching was kind of comical. And he was just staring at the Riot Shield, and all of a sudden another player pops out from the left of the Riot Shield. It's an easy shot.
Go to Kill Dome for round number 5. Back and forth we go, but after round 2, it has been Arise who have taken a steady hold of the series to begin up 3-1, and their defense has looked fantastic.
Yeah, so far this has been a great series coming out from Arise. Had one attacking side not go so well for them, but otherwise been quite clean. That last round defensively, very clean coming out for them. Immediately stunted the push from Cave Dummies. And a lot of util used as well. Riot Shield lost, tried to clack through Office, and it was Chrome Trigger was immediately eliminated there. So that push was irrelevant right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. I don't expect we'll see too much of Pit in this round. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, really force these long fights in the dark. If you expect the defense to be sitting jungle, like we can see, obviously the players can't, but on our drawings, we know they're going to be sitting jungle side. You got a barbed wire up steps. You got drawbridge control. Pit wouldn't be the worst call if you're going to try to draw the round out, but it does come down to just simply how much time do you really have to work with when you have to rotate through so much of the map, given that you're playing from the south side. So is the call to go to something a little bit more prescient? Could be the green door at the north. What will it look like as we get ready for the attacking side to get into position? And with it, defense begins to set up. Here we go into the next round.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see where the push is. Zigalo will be holding Pit, or at least sitting in there for now. Maybe trying to gain some information and maybe turning off the lights. As I think that might be the play. Yeah, he is looking through the glass to see where the team's going to go. It looks like it will be a jungle push for the attackers.
Junker's ready for it. Could open up to a 3K if lucky. Avoids the first nade. Shots ring out, no connection. First blood yet to drop. Nice pick.
Got two. Got to be careful here. If you're attackers, you cannot let this one get out of hand too quickly. You got to trade someone back. Juker's still alive. I don't even think they know where Juker went.
Yeah, that smoke inadvertently helped them. Picks up 2 in the round. Gets out quickly. Juker trying again. Ingmar in hand. Into the smoke.
Oh.
Absolutely bodies someone up close. Barrel stuffs his way into a 3rd kill. Now all 4 dead. Make it all 5. There goes the attacking round. As quickly as it starts, it's all red in the kill feed.
That's a tough one for Cave Dummies. That's a huge 2-piece coming out from Juker, and then to escape without anyone knowing where he went. No trades coming out. Sosa got caught with something in his hand as well. Very, very tough round for attackers, and they barely got out of the gate there.
Sometimes we try to like look at these rounds piece by piece. We do our best to break them down and say, okay, here's where the first kind of issue props up. Here's where the second comes into contest. That was just, you get 2 first bloods from Juker. He gets smoked out of position, but it ends up helping him. They go to push it. He barrel stuffs the third, and the team does the rest. When you lose numbers that quickly, there's not a whole lot you can do to reapproach the round and draw out a new solution.
Good start for Juker there in that last round. See if he can do it again. This time, defending C-Store is Arise. And we'll see now what Cave Dummies can put together. Looks like a split going through Arcade. And Freezer. So we might get a Freezer push here. And then maybe open up a sight line on entrance to maybe get a pick there. And I think that's the biggest thing right now. If you're on Cave W side, you have got to be positive in manpower when you walk in. You've got to find the first blood.
Even if you trade it, you have to hold numbers at least halfway into the round. You can't play mid-round down 2-3 members, let alone the numbers disadvantage, yes, but when it comes to just purely trades between 2 heavy mechanical teams, 2 teams that have very rarely dropped rounds in their run so far in the Due Process League, you simply can't play the 4v5 or the 5v3 halfway through the round if you are Cave Dummies. You have to find a way to keep everybody up after the initial breach, like Corelli just mentioned. Go ahead and draw me up the 3-2 split one more time. We're going to be going to Arcade. I like it, but this is a big round. 4-1 right now for Arise. If they take it, again, 2 away from closing out the first series. For Cave Dummies, the momentum on the other side, you have to find a way to slow this game down.
Yeah, we'll be curious. They do still have the torch, so the player... So it will be Dylan who will torch through entrance, I'm assuming, to maybe get that sightline. They instant blast Arcade.
What's Jet up to? Full distraction to Arcade. I like the idea. Then you get Junker to kind of start worrying about the torch. But what is everybody else going to do? Jet's going to just wait to hit this site. This is all designed. But who makes the first entry? Got a lot of time on the clock.
Oh, Dylan's clearing out entrance here, and he's going to run right into Juker. Didn't actually look, and Juker's not even looking that way either.
I don't think he knows he's there.
The freezer clack as well. Jet knows, or at least doesn't think anyone's in storage. Jet will walk in. The players approaching from the Arcade side as well. Juker still patiently sitting at entrance, just looking at the ground. Not involved, waiting to see if maybe a push comes through entrance. Jet and Sachi going to approach here, as Jet just saw the toes of Sachi and Freezer. So information gained. Oh, Jet went around the other side, took down Sachi. Numbers up and numbers down for the attackers. As it's up to Dylan and Timber, and Dylan trying to put shots down, can't figure it out. Can't finish off. Nicola takes out Sosic. New takes down Timber, and Dylan finally falls.
Ooh, God, that was a really great approach offensively, but the defense didn't get scared. They didn't falter on bomb. They used that molly to flush out Timber, to flush out Chrome, and then you see Lacking pushing through bathroom, picks up one. The storefront gunfight goes the way of Arise yet again. And the patience that you usually see offensively from Jet on the backline was shown there from all of Arise, from Juker, basically sitting in front of storefront, not giving up position, not getting overzealous, just waiting for things to unfold, then taking advantage of the round. That was, again, another crucial moment where Arise just played patient, and the poise from this team cannot be undersold.
So 5-1 in favor of Arise right now. Doing quite well on their defensive side. See what Cave Dummies can do. And right now, I'm not sure exactly where they want to go. I mean, you have some options here. Patio into winning construction can be a little bit difficult depending on how the defender's set up. Hallway as well, always very tough to win. And this map's tough because obviously you could shoot through a lot of these walls, so players don't necessarily have to hold the sight lines if they don't want to. They could just hold where they think you're going to go and possibly even stick a bomb defuse. As we saw that yesterday, a couple kills on this map through the wall onto the bomb diffuser. But it is going to be Patio. Looks like Patio through reception and construction. I think that's probably the best bet, sending your numbers up there. And it looks like maybe clacking in through the backstage as well.
These walls are thin, Corelli. You can just post a sub up somewhere and pick somebody off bomb. Expect to see that in this round. 5-1. Arise, 2 rounds away from closing out the first series of the day against the number 1 team, Cave Dummies. They'll play 2 in total. But right now, it's been all of Arise. Offensively, defensively more so. Again, teams have been electric this weekend, but Arise has found ways to shut down a prolific offense in Cave Dummies by just out-executing.
Torch brought as well for Dylan to maybe open up those barred windows in Patio. Nobody's actually sitting in construction for the defenders.
Junker's not going to bite. Lacking might. Lacking have eyes. Over towards the wall, he does. Really good heady from Lacking here, but I don't know if anybody's going to peek just yet.
I think they're going to push it, though, eventually. Especially once they get confirmation from Dylan and crew in reception, as Timber does move in. The smokes do come out, so that helps the sightline, but I think Lacking can still see through. They didn't get it all the way. Lacking turns around just as players come through the doorway as well. So a lot of space gain here for the attackers.
They do get in, but it's a narrow path into the 1v1. It's a kill box if you are Timber, and you don't have the weapon at range to work with. You do have the damage boost. But can you take the heady fight through the smoke? Trying. Timber. Waiting. Peeking. Still, we get some reinforcements now. Is Lacking backs on up. Sachi. Helping out with a sub up close. Lacking's going to go ahead and retreat.
And now the pitch is coming through. Arise clamping down. Juker Noon flanking from behind. Sosik and Dylan, they're pinched from both sides. Sosik's going to go down as well. It's up to Chrome Trigger and Timber. And Juker knows exactly where they are. Takes down Timber. That's a huge pick. And now Chrome Trigger in a very tough situation. Might run right back into Juker. He'll take him down as well. Juker going crazy this round.
That reaction time is disgusting. That recoil control is even deadlier. Holy hell. Where did Juker come from in this round? I know he was controlling hall side, but on low health, rotates north side, takes the backstage green door, immediately sprays inside, gets a kill, puts his team up on match point. A 1v2? My God.
And we didn't mention it too much, but yeah, we didn't mention it too much, but Juker was sitting in office on that north side of the map for a very long time behind a closed door. Really wasn't involved at all in those immediate early fights. And then the call came out from Arise. You could see it. They sprinted down the middle of the map and pinched hard. When they had enough information where they knew where the other 3 players were that came in through Patio, they pinched quickly, and it happened fast.
That's the best way to summarize how this series has gone so far, right? Between these teams, defensively for Arise, they've had quick rounds. They have made quick work of Cave Dummies. Corelli, like, how often, this is more of just rhetorical, but like, how often have we seen a round come down to the last 20 or so seconds on defuse? It just hasn't happened yet.
And that was a good push, I feel like, from Cave Dummies. It was great work for them to win all that space. They got down the south side of the map. They were able to kind of push in and get some information. I just think that they couldn't move fast enough. And that's a great call from Arise when that pinch came through. Really threw off the attackers on their game plan, because I think attackers, they still wanted some more information. They were still playing for a pick towards the eastern side of the map and just never really got it as quick as they wanted to. And the call from Arise came out quicker, and they were able to just collapse onto the attackers.
This is the round to get it done, though. If you are Cave Dummies, backs against the wall, can we see a perfect, you wouldn't even call this a reverse sweep, but perfect run, a full sail? We'll call it a full sail because that's actually the most appropriate. Sail works. Do you know what a full sail is, Corelli?
No, I don't think I do.
Full Sail was at the Full Sail Esports Championship when Complexity in Black Ops 2 was down 5-1 to Optic on Express S&D and came back and won.
I didn't know that.
Into round number 8. Let's get it going. A little bit of esports.
That is some history right there.
Yeah. Go ahead and clack that door for me, big boy.
So interesting. I mean, we haven't seen too many teams push through Hall. Nobody's here on the side of Arise, but they do have the sight lines lacking. Letting it rip. Noon still holding entrance with the mop. Dylan's going to push in, and with this riot shield, we'll see Ziggler's going to be to his right.
Ooh. Peek from lacking. Noon, Ziggler pushed up Dylan around a 1v3. Could be 1v4. Riot shield in hand. Switches back out to the Tar. Numbers will back up. Jet taking a 1-on-1 on the outskirts. Jet pinched by 2 mollies.
Oh, big win.
And Chrome gets the first blood.
Big win for Chrome. Get that player out of Teller. Forces Juker to go back into servers. If Jet can win this in servers, this would be big, and Jet's not going to peek. Not yet. Dylan goes down. Zigolo wants blood, chasing down another. Sosic goes down. Zigolo hunting. Timber drops as well. Noon with the mop takes down him, but Chrome Trigger trades out with Juker. It's up to Chrome Trigger. And Zigolo's low, so is lacking. So it's just Noon at full health, and they've got the mop. We got to be careful. He might run straight into the sight line of Noon. And oh my gosh, what a whip around. In the end, Noon, well, he tried to finish it off with the mop and had to use the pistol instead. And Chrome Trigger, I mean, there was success that was waiting to happen there for them, but a 7-1 victory for Arise, dispatching of KHAOS here in their first series.
That is the biggest beatdown we've seen so far here on mainstream. And Corelli, like Zigolo's 2-piece, you take out the riot shield, that is your deterrent for a late round hit. That is your ability to draw out gunfights and say, we can reposition and try to take some of these challenges. As soon as shield goes down, it's like the entire momentum of the entire game, the series collapsed on top of KHAOS, and Arise once again proved that they're just going to outshoot their problems here. Gigolo steps up in that one. Juker does the same. It's insane.
Yeah, and I feel like there was some good opportunities, especially in that last bank map, or round, I should say, from KHAOS, that they could have made something happen. As soon as they got that pick there in security, everyone else dropped on their team. There was nothing else they could do. Put Chrome Trigger in a really tough situation. Granted, last 2 out of the 3 players had, less than 20 health. It could have been possible, but unfortunately not happening there. And, we talked about how important the attacking rounds might be, but really Arise all the way around. We're good on every round.
Team's too good, man. It's just too good. You got the Juker 2-piece towards, from Hall, looking towards the back room. Zigolo, Noon, Sachi lacking. This team just is extremely clean in their rounds, especially when the first blood does fall, Corelli, when we look at teams kind of repositioning. When it comes to defense, Arise always had a second and third plan, a tertiary opportunity that they would then fall back to reapproach some of their team fights. And it just seemed like they always had an idea of how they were going to take some of these 1v2s, these 1v3s. And because they were winning the numbers outright, you could see the chaos, the panic start to set in for KHAOS. And from there, it didn't really seem like they could find a footing after that second round. Even with some really good individual performances, team play specific, Arise was just the better squad in this first series.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier before we even got into the round, how important it is to look at the statistics when it comes to opening kills from Arise. They have 2 or 3 players that are sitting in the top 3 or in and around the top 3 for opening kills in these rounds. You saw how many times Arise had that first kill in basically every single round. Gives them the numbers advantage almost immediately.
Well, the great thing right now for KHAOS is, 1, it's only the first series of the day. 2, they got a second one to go. And 3, they have some time to regroup and reapproach how they want to play against Arise. Because right now, Arise is on a roll, and just off of the first series will take over in seeding as the #1 team. And they only give up 1 round. So again, this is a squad that not only doesn't go on the back foot too often, but when they are pressured, they have great responses, which again will be important late into this tournament. It's only day 2, but Arise looks like the team to beat. And for now, we will take a quick break. When we come back, we continue on with the second series of the first match of the day, KHAOS versus Arise. We'll see you after the break. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Due Process League. That is Corelli. I'm Spaceman. We just concluded the first series of the day, and we continue on with the second series of the first match. You know what the deal is. Cave Dummies versus Arise. Arise take it 7-1. And again, this was a back and forth for the first 2 rounds. We almost had a 1v3, Corelli. And then Arise just went on an absolute tear and never looked back. Talk to me about what this team does so well in the field and what you're expecting for our next match.
Yeah, I think defensively, you saw even on that dome map, Juker getting away cleanly. That's a huge part of their game plan. They get a pick, they get out, they keep themselves alive, and they keep themselves in the game. Whereas, you know, not that it's a bad thing to trade out, but they're not looking to trade out. They're looking to get one for free and then get away. Another thing that I noticed too, especially on the attacking side, they're very methodical, very slow to push in. They don't force it. If it's not there, they don't take it. They choose something else. They use all the time that they have in a round. You saw on that C-Store map, I think early on, I think it was their second win on attack. They crept up to the bomb. Juker crept up to the bomb, tapped the bomb, got the defense to react, and they were ready for it. Those are the types of plays. They're sneaky, they're smart, they're keen on where the defenses are, how do they manipulate the defense into where they want to go. You saw that multiple times. And Arise uses everything to their disposal, at least in the games that we've seen so far, to make that happen and win those rounds.
Cave Dummies weren't in this series without promise. I mean, look, there were moments where Chrome Trigger was in position, Jet was kind of hitting rotations late. They were staggering some of their offensive hits. They were looking for that first pick. But again, they were looking for the first pick. It didn't often fall. And when it did, the immediate trade, the immediate counter position from Arise was there to deal with the disturbance. And it just felt like no matter what happened on offense, Corelli, Arise had an answer. Defensively, offensively, they didn't really have to do too much. But defensively, they were just always in a position to change up how they were going to approach the round and just make it work off pure mechanics.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing too. Great gunplay from them as well. You know, we talk about all the thought, all the great, you know, game planning, but ultimately too, great gunplay coming out. Some good long range shots on the mop there. And I do think that also some of the longer range rifles that we saw, like Juker again on that dome play, just taking down defense or attackers very, very quickly. Good sight lines from them. And then that's what they've been able to do to kind of open up those, you know, more free opportunities to take a kill and then get out for free. I think that, again, they've done such a great job on that. That's going to be the biggest focus now, I think, for Cave Dummies is how do we trade positively without giving up our players, or how do we trick this offense or defense into the way that we want to make the move. So Arise has been able to do that against Cave Dummies. Cave Dummies not so much the other way.
Yeah, this is going to be a big second match for the two teams. Again, remember going into this, it was Cave Dummies who began today with 4 points overall. They had a win yesterday. They were 14-1 in round count. They are now not. They have unfortunately dropped those numbers as Arise will move up. Again, Arise was second at 14-2, and both these teams were looking clean. They come in from yesterday undefeated, 2 straight wins, and so far Arise has the upper hand. But we'll wait to see how the rest of it unfolds. Again, going into Series 2, remember, still 12 rounds each. First to 7 will win it, but that was the biggest beatdown we've seen, and it wasn't always that clean, but it was the most what's the word I want to use? Straightforward win from Arise at 7-1 compared to yesterday, where again we had 7-2 from KHAOS, 72 from KHAOS. Arise just straight up looked like they were on a different level in this first match. But granted, this is why we play 2. We can get another chance for Cave Dummies to bounce back. And there has to be a player for you on Cave Dummies that needs to be able to counter at least what Juker is doing on the first blood statistic alone. Who do you think it needs to be, or how do you think Cave Dummies needs to start approaching these offensive rounds and how they can do a better job of maintaining the Arise pressure?
Well, on the side of the, at least the second part of your question with the offensive side, I feel like you're going to have to find a pick early. I think that's the biggest thing for them right now is just getting a numbers up situation. And then the other thing too that we saw that they, I think, struggled with was just when they get in, they finally get that space executing and just going with a game plan. Don't allow Arise to kind of let their thinking overtake you. You saw that a little bit on this, even on this particular map in the last series, where I felt like Cave Dummies really won a lot of space through construction into crates, but then they kind of stalled for a little bit, and that allowed Juker, that allowed Noon to really clamp down on them and take over. So they're not on the attacking side right now; they're on the defensive side. So we'll have to wait and see, but they will have to play. And this is also, you know, kind of a big big moment for them too. Can they win their defensive sides? That's a big one because a lot of those wins in that last round came from the attacking side for Arise.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the way that Juker was shooting, it didn't really feel like it mattered where on the map those gunfights were happening. He was in the position to be a nuisance. And with it, you know what's happening. It's the 3-2 split. We might be looking at Patio again. Should we expect the shed collapse? We probably will see it. You can again see the pings on the map that we have access to for where they're expecting contests or gunfights to ensue. Split through kitchen. Expect a shotgun in there at some point. But this map's dangerous.
Definitely dangerous. And one that makes you think so much. And that's why we saw Cave Dummies, I think, stall out on attack last time on this map was there's just so much to consider. There's so many walls that defenses can shoot through. It's very, very tough to have a clean execution on this map because of that. We'll see the 3-2 split here. See how it works. It looks like the defense very much so ready for it. Nobody's really paying attention to Office. The defense smartly knows what's going on. As Sightline's already come out great for defensive work there from Chrome Trigger. Gets one. This is the moment where you got to stay alive. Good suppressing fire coming out from the defense as well, but they'll have to consider the shed push. Noon and Sachi finally here. Juker gets one in Timber, so even numbers again.
And there's really not much that Chrome Trigger can do other than just be a Guardian Angel. He's got 3 HP. You can't take a fight. So you're going to spread out and scout for information, but the slow wrap begins in the back. Sachi and Noon working together. Zigalo up front and Juker on the wing. Just flying through and letting shots ring out in the hopes of picking up an extra kill. Juker was able to pick up Timber and did just enough. Jet will go in for the initial. Shotgun in hand. Can't connect.
Needed to get one there if you were Jet. Coming across, Zigalo, Sachi pick up 2. It's up to Sosic and Chrome Trigger. Chrome Trigger with 1 HP, 3 HP, excuse me. They'll have to do the impossible here. As I think he was trying to play dead for a moment there to see how many players were going to be in hallway. But in the end, again, methodical, smart from Arise. They aborted the shed push as well. I think if you didn't notice, Sachi's going back and picking up the clacker that he dropped in reception. They aborted on that shed push. And that push through reception was really the way it worked. And you can see the drawing come out from Cave Dummies as well. They're looking at this saying, okay, well, this is exactly what they did. How could we not stop this? Or what do we do next time?
Zigalo picked up a shoddy and again stashed away some extra resources for ammo. So keep that in mind as we move later into this one-on-one matchup where a team might be running out of chances to, again, have ammunition to boot. You can take things away from your opponents, just like other tactical FPSs. That's always the key when we play games or when players play at this professional level. Is once you get the round win, then go get the resources, make sure you take away what you can from the opposing side. We see it there, but the opening round again, that is what? 7 straight rounds for Arise. After round number 2 of game 1, they've been on a roll.
Yeah, they've been crushing it here. And I mean, felt like Cave Dummies didn't really put up that much of a fight in that first round. And it felt like, too, they got that pick so early. You had numbers up. You even had a very high amount of numbers up because 2 were sitting in shed still for the first 30 seconds of that round. But again, Arise, I think, kind of realized the situation, made the call for those 2 players to come back and wrap back around. They waited. And it paid off. We are going to see a pit push here, which we haven't seen too much. It's a very short pit push, so I think that's why you're going to see it. You want to win the sight line over the bomb here in an elevated position. That's where the mop's going to be sitting. It will be Sosic on it. So, and I don't know. Defense doesn't look like they're setting up particularly heavy for that type of push. You see a lot more looking towards beach. It looks like they actually might split a player in beach as well.
Yeah, that's where that blue mark seems to be looking at base side, or at least all the way back to the adjacent corner of the bomb down here. Expect to send one up to the beach, take this heady, use some util on bomb, and again, kind of just orchestrate that pinch. As long as you keep a good sharpshooter at beach, you can really push the defense back and corner them towards pit. But Timber might be the linchpin up top for shutting down the push from Arise. They'll shoot out some of the windows or try their best to, again, cover themselves so they're not spotted as they do their job defensively.
Yeah, it's smart from Timber. Yeah, it is going to be a 4-1 split. They're going to send Noon on the beach. I don't think Arise is expecting anyone here. Zigolo has to be careful. Sosic is running all the way back, and this is smart. This is what you want to see out of Cave Dummies. They get their pick on Juker. But the attackers have full control of the bomb. Somebody's got to look at it. And he's going to stick this. Someone's got to throw util on this bomb. Zigolo's going to go all the way. It's at 75%. Nobody's putting up a hand. And it's a full defuse. The push came in late. And oh my, Arise mopping up in the end after the round is over.
I didn't think we'd see a ninja defuse in round 2 of our second series of the day, but Arise, the team to do it. And after some brilliant strats defensively from K Dummies, Arise says, why worry about the team fight when the bomb is a lot easier to get to?
That was Blitzkrieg coming out from Zigolo and Co. on the four-man push in pit. They didn't care about anyone on either side of pit. They just ran straight through it, basically called it out saying nobody's going to be holding this. We can run straight into it. My, oh my. And again, it wasn't a bad idea from Sosic. I think Sosic knew it was more than 2 coming through pit. Sosic tries to run away to buy some more time, set up on an angle. Unfortunately, it did not work out.
It is a confidence call, if I've ever seen one in a round of...
And then to stick to the fuse as well. I mean, great positioning from Zigolo just to put themselves behind the bomb. But my goodness.
That is a classic. We're up 5-0 in the game. Let's go ahead and just go for a quick ninja defuse just to try it. That was we've won 8 straight rounds. What do we have to lose right now? They haven't been able to stop us. And I think that's also the thing. The confidence that right now that Arise is playing with is they've gone from doing 3-2 splits to 4-1. Why? They're not only just winning the gunfights outright, but their ability to call audibles, reposition, and win team fights on the back foot has been so excellent in this series. They're now splitting up how they've been splitting. They've gone from the 3-2 hit to the 4-1 and even just favoring a straight push to site. That is a team that's playing with confidence, Corelli.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about that. Plenty of confidence here. As players are noticing that we have played this map earlier in the last series. It's going to be a 4-1 split push. 4 through freezer, excuse me, and 1 through entrance. And Spaceman, we've talked about it quite a bit. It feels like entrance really is that key to opening up at least the sight lines for your team, considering all the other kind of confined spaces that are there to be pushed through at the moment with freezer, storage, and arcade. Entrance kind of gives you those sight lines into at least arcade a little bit and into storefront. Chrome Trigger's going to know. Chrome Trigger's going to get 1. Can he get 2? That would be huge, but staying alive would be even better. Not going to happen. Juker through the window. Going to take down Chrome Trigger, but the damage has been done. So sad face comes out from Zigolo.
But they at least get 1. Again, if you're going to play hyper aggressive off the start, if you're going to go for an early round flank, you better get 1. They do trade, and that's what matters most. Jet in a precarious spot with an auto shotty.
Yeah, Jet has got to stay alive or at least trade with 1 here. Might get rushed as soon as the smoke goes down as well. Timber trying to run away from Sachi, and Noon is deep in behind the bomb. A lot of space gained. Juker taking out some barbed wire here into Liquor, but Jet's sitting in there with the auto shotgun. Jet should probably get this kill. Turn around. No, it's not. Juker knew exactly where he's going to be. Another kill comes out from Lacking. Dylan goes down from Noon. Sosic to Juker. And just like that, it happened so quickly, Spaceman. The round is over.
Well, a couple extra body taps for love from Juker with the auto shotty. Yeah, that was an overwhelming collapse onto site. 3 straight rounds to begin the second series. Arise are going crazy right now. Even in positions where they shouldn't have the angle, they just win the gunfight.
How many times have we seen this out of Arise where slow, methodical, you see Noon creep in behind the bomb. A lot of space is gained there on the left side of the map. Nobody's really going down. They traded out once or twice. And then boom, the push comes in from Juker. Everyone peeks from Arise. Everyone goes down on the defender's side. And the round is over in a split second. It's just executing perfectly coming out from Arise.
Yeah. That's the scary thing. I mean, we talk about, good players in position to make big plays, and really comes down to you need your key slayers to just get kills, and that's a very reductive and oversimplification of the role. But when you have that kind of talent leading the charge with subs, leading the charge as the front line, the first aggressors in fights, those first bloods do rack up. And these are the moments where, again, for a team like Arise, one, they no longer have to worry about, do cave dummies pick up the fact that we're splitting 4-1 and we've changed up our approach on offense, because it doesn't matter. They're just not winning the fight anyway. But two, the fact that Arise are so confident that they're going to take close quarters engagements against an auto shoddy, win it, and then push the attention towards bomb again. Like, they're taking fights that you just normally don't take because, one, they know they're going to win it, and two, they're that much ahead of cave dummies as of today. Right now, Arise is the better team. They are playing with much more proficiency in their hits. They're clean in their rotation, and their gunfights are going almost every single time. We're talking about maintaining 5 members up, 4 members up late into round. I mean, when's the last time we really saw Arise in a 1v something situation or a 2v something, Corelli? It just hasn't happened.
Yeah, it hasn't happened because they clean out the other side so quickly. And we will see, looks like a push from multiple sides to win kitchen. Push through shed, push through patio. We'll see if cave dummies can put something together. It's their turn to attack and put something on the board. Everyone running their subs and shotguns on the attacking side. Noon on the mop here. Holding the tight angle into patio. Might be able to pick one here. No, does not connect. Saw 2 heads there. And look at this. Falling all the way back to bomb. They gave up everything in reception and kitchen. And now the pinch. Possible pinch angle.
How did he find that? Dylan gonna try to press Zigolo. Sasuke's backs up. Jet getting caught in the crossfire. Make it 2 crossfires. Zigolo and Sachi combining for help. Dylan, slow crawl. Working the way towards site. Timber, the only one out. Jet's gonna come in for the play. And Jet's gonna get one. Jet looking for the second. Shotgun in hand, gets caught in the back, and the trade is in. Hull is in absolute blitzkrieg right now, and Dylan now tries to move in.
3v4. Dylan does have the torch, so he can take out this barbed wire. Gotta be careful. That's taking down Sosik, trying to take the fight. Not going to win against Lacking. It's up to Dylan and Chrome Trigger. Chrome Trigger shooting from the opposite side. Gets the attention of Sachi, but Dylan's already fallen. And a 1v2. Zigolo's low, though. And Sachi goes huge in the 2v1. Takes down Zigolo, takes down Sachi, and is able to secure the round. They're first on the board.
That is a massive, massive momentum stall against a team in Arise that was about to go up 4-0 in their second series. K Dummies crawl back through a 1v2. Chrome Trigger finally finds some success on the back line. And I was watching that gunfight ensue. I believe it was Zigolo's POV or Sachi's, excuse me, who was taking out Dylan. He was standing behind an open door and just letting it spray. And those are the kinds of things where Arise are not going to give you a lot of easy info, but when they take some of their gunfights, they know where you're at. They know the maps. They know exactly where their positioning should be. But they're going to challenge you in a lot of those choke points behind cover, and you just got to be ready for it, unfortunately. But a nice job by Cave Dummies to, again, slow the team fight down, take advantage of the space, and a huge 1v2 just to get something on the board.
Yeah, it's a tall ask, too, in that situation. Massive from Chrome Trigger. We will see if that trigger stays Chrome here going into Kill Dome. Better from Cave Dummies. Spaceman, I'd say. A little bit more methodical. Took their time. I think they got a little lucky that Noon missed the mop shot early on as well. That could have been painful. And now taking a look at Dome, it is going to be a split push coming out from the attacker side. Cave Dummies wanting to go up through observation and then send a couple through beach. And that's been a very popular way to approach this map, Spaceman, from what we've seen is you send either 3 or 4 towards jungle or observation, and then you usually send 1 or 2 players to lurk through beach is typically what we've seen. Oftentimes you can get so much traction and attention on your push on the other side of the map that the person on beach can really flank nicely. Looks like they actually might run through pit, which is a little bit of a mastermind type of play. I kind of like it. Instead of forcing the fight into jungle, go through pit. Now you're on the other side towards the bomb. You'll get some help from your players lurking from beach as well.
It is worth noting that that was the first offensive round win for Cave Dummies so far today in their series. They did not win one last game. We are going brazy up top against the window. Holy God.
Yeah, we are.
Every single window's got to go.
Yep. No information. So I'm curious how many they send. It looks like actually, instead of sending 3 in observation, they're sending... Oh, no, never mind. Dylan's coming back. Dylan lost the plot for a second. He's back. But with the lights off... Yeah,
and they're hitting beach.
Yeah, they can run straight up beach. There's nobody here except for Sachi, who's going to be holding the tight angle.
Oh, Sachi playing in the weeds. A little beaver. First blood goes the way of Arise yet again. Sachi could play spoiler. Sachi gets caught. Oh, he found him in the corner. Jet picks up the neutral. And now beach is wide open. Jungle side clear. Soski can push up as well. Noon has to have this call, this wherewithal at 20 HP to recognize that the rotation has to happen.
Jet has got to know that there's players near the bomb. Lacking. Trying to hunt it down with the power off. This is very tough. Dylan takes out Juker as well. Noon on Jet. 2v3 in favor of attackers right now. Chrome Trigger goes big on Noon as well. Attackers clamping down. It's up to Lacking.
Oh, and caught perfectly in the end. A flawless rotation from Chrome Trigger. Back-to-back offensive rounds. Even with the lights out, they still get it done. The defuse is in. 3-2 now. The fight back continues from Cave Dummies. Finally, some momentum on their side.
Yeah, strong round, really, from Cave Dummies. Well executed. That pick on Sachi in the jungle water there. So strong from Jet. Opened up so much of the base side and on the bomb as well. And for Cave Dummies, finally rolling here, I think. Between the first series and this series, finally just getting established, I think, a little bit more and slowing down Arise.
It all starts with one. That pick though into jungle was, I mean, it's a great heads up. You at this level, they're expecting players to be kind of in those spots, but that is still a tough fight to win, even with lights out. And picking that up opened up so much of the map. Credit where credit is due. Cave Dummies win 2 massive rounds on offense back to back. The first time they doubled up in this series, and to do it on offense, to give them a little bit of signs of relief, to breathe just a bit. That just cannot be understated enough, or overstated, I should say, how important those 2 rounds might be.
So it looks like we are going to see a little bit of a wall charge play coming out from Cave Dummies. Been very popular to have someone go through storage here for the attackers on this particular C-Store map. You're kind of getting the default play, I feel like, on this C-Store. You're getting the torch into entrance, and you're walking in storage. And maybe not pushing freezer this time, but door or wall charging into liquor. Probably going to have to fight for freezer a little bit if you're the attackers, though. It appears the auto shotty will be sitting in there.
But to Arise, does that really dismay them from taking the fight? I don't think so. Like they proved earlier that if they see an auto shot in a corner, they're going to chow that every time. This is another huge round, though. I mean, for momentum, sure, for Cave Dummies, but to prove that offense wasn't a fluke, defense certainly can be a strong suit for them. I don't know if we'll see the 4-1 pinch again.
Thinking about it more, I mean, it just depends on how fast this storage hit happens. I mean, if they just run in through storage and put the wall charge down and just blast through Liquor, I mean, that would be ideal. I think with the way we're seeing defense set up, Zigolo might not be able to take effect as that door is going to be closed. I'm sure he's going to try and peek it. You can see Zigolo going all the way back with that auto shotty towards Arcade. And now rotating all the way back. So he will be here in Freezer. It really just depends on when he peaks.
Mm-hmm. Sachi trading shots with Sasuke.
Now Jet's holding Freezer from the window in storage. So the second Zigolo peaks, which you might go for it here, Jet might catch him.
Oh, wow. A great molly. Perfectly timed. But the trade's there on Zigolo. Both teams getting a first pick.
And I think that win on Zigolo is much more impactful for attackers than the win on Chrome Trigger for defenders.
Timber. Each getting a couple of shots to ring. Noon far back inside the bathroom. Very far back. Has a look on a Timber, but that light is going to be a problem in this round. Dylan moving up to sight. Dylan sees a pixel. Slow walk. Still nothing.
Oh my gosh, he got him through the smoke. Sachi. And another for Sachi on Dylan, and Sasuke not even in the play right now as Jet basically by themselves. I don't think they know if Sachi's in the smoke or not. Gets Juker. Sachi has to know a relative position of where Jet is. You can see Jet's trying to get towards the bomb and maybe start sticking it. Sachi might have the angle on them though, but that smoke's really throwing him for a loop. Jet's going to stick this one. Sachi might need to go all the way around to get there, and he's taken down. Jet turns directly at him. Sasuke with the shots as well. Great execution in the end from Cave Dummies.
This is the team we were expecting to see. The resolve in crunch time when things break down. Jet's able to get onto site. The defuse is in as well, and Sasuke playing a perfect position as a guardian angel protects his teammate on defuse. 3-3 all tied up. Crucial kill from Jet. Sitting on that defuse, having to make the play, turning around, knowing exactly where that player is going to push him from. That's what won them the round, because if that flank comes through and kills Jet, you're in a world of hurt. You're in a 1v2 and you're pinched by the player behind you. So to get that kill and continue the defuse, huge from Jet, going big here to tie up this series. And just when you think that all of a sudden Arise are going to steamroll their way through this second series, what happened in that mid-match, not timeout, but break slate for Cave Dummies to say, you know what? We actually can keep up with this team when team fights happen. When we have to start matching their pace, we can absolutely do it. To the bank. Round number 7. All tied up at 3 apiece. Second series of the day. First one went to Arise 7-1. This one began at a 3-0 lead, and since then has been all of Cave Dummies. Back-to-back offensive rounds. Make it back-to-back-to-back offensive rounds.
I'm just watching Timber draw the evil Arise face on the map. Yeah, that's a good representation right now.
Nice. Kind of like you.
I don't know about that. 3-2 split, 3 through hall, 2 through entrance here. Curious where defenders will actually position themselves for this. So it looks like a couple in Teller. Thought she's going to be dropping down that barbed wire. And this will be crucial because the rotation from Noon and Sachi will be important, as they'll be pinched from entrance and from hall if it truly is that 3-2 split. So they'll need help from Lacking and Loans on that sight line down through hall. Overall, I think the positioning is good here for defenders.
Not bad. There's the breach. In we go. Numbers begin to rotate. Lazy Susan of an offense kicks into high gear. Dylan leading the charge. The point man. Sigalo, Lacking, Noon, all three around each other. You got security controlled by Junker. And Sachi could hear Jet moving.
Ooh, might be Noon and
Retracing
Timber.
for Chrome.
Noon and Timber on the snipe battle. Noon's going to re-peek. Got to be careful here. Who's going to win this one?
Comes the molly from Sachi.
Noon sees players, but just can't hit them. That's their moment. I don't know if they noticed it or not. And Sachi's going to take out both in the end. Jet drops, and Chrome Trigger goes all the way back. Now very aggressive are the defenders. You can see how far up Noon is now, holding this angle, trying to find Sasky.
Got to protect the vault. Vault switch is all that you really need if you're a defender. Sasky immediately destroyed. Noon in the corner has help from his team. The last one alive. Not for much longer. Defenders will take the round, and the first one on the board in a while for Arise. That double molly was excellent to shut down the entire round.
And just felt like the attackers did not have anything go their way in their push, anything on entrance, didn't get any picks. Just felt like everything fell flat, and Arise took what was given in front of them. And that's why they stay up with, what, 3 players there at the end? Strong there from Arise. And you tick once more towards that 7 mark. Only 3 more for Arise to win this series if Cave Dummies have nothing to say about it.
We're 3. Much closer than last series. Still, though, there are moments where numbers fall too quickly and Cave Dummies do not have a response. Credit, again, to how Arise have played it. Tank's been tough for Cave Dummies in this series. This might be a little bit of an easier call and situation for just the space afforded for this defense to, again, get in position, but for the offense of Cave Dummies to find opportunities to win a lot of those crucial 1v2s, get Dylan in the position to hit the round late. Chrome Trigger, who was one of the last players in the bank, got caught quickly, but they love to play the slow play on the side of Cave Dummies. Does it work this time? Hopefully, they can tie it up.
Yeah, interesting map here. We've got, obviously, a bit of a power position here up in Office, but Fan and the walkway around Fan also gives you these strong sight lines over the bomb. Teams who want to take that immediate power position can go through Factory Fan, but you're very exposed on your walk all the way into Office if you don't win out your trades. So I saw initially that Cave Dummies might have wanted to go Factory Fan, but I think they might be opting to just go through the server farm instead. Take the fights through there and see if they can't come out on the other side towards Conveyor with their wall charge.
I want an anti-clack so bad.
It's not possible right now.
I know. I'm just letting you know for the future. I just want an anti-clack in general. Anything's possible when you have imagination and friendship, really.
Okay.
Junker? Come on now. Come on now, Junker. They might line up for you. Oh, there's the riot shield. Uh-oh. Yep, hit the fire extinguisher and get out of dodge. Dylan's chasing. Dylan's chasing with a riot shield. Here's the wall charge. Hit. First blood. In the favor of Cave Divers. Cave Dummies, good lord.
Cave Divers. That's basically what they're doing right now. They're making their own cave. Noon's got this mop holding that sight line. 4v4 now. I like the patience coming out here from Cave Dummies. They don't need to force it. They don't need to go in one by one either. Whatever they do, I feel like they got to go with numbers. They're a little split at the moment. We've got plenty of time. Timber maybe could get someone here. That would be huge.
What's Chrome doing outside? Chrome's doubling up.
Trying to get a sight line through the fan. He might be able to see one.
Oh,
Takes a bullet himself. Gonna get wasted by the fan. Timber's trying to take the shot. He does trade out Lacking. Noon taking down Dylan, and Zigalo taking down Timber means Sosic is the last alive. And it's going to be an extremely hard push in 1v2.
Defense can rat it out if they have to. It's 10 seconds is all they need. And onto the site. Gets absolutely horked on. Hold on. Saucy gonna try to stick it. Saucy's gonna stick it. Surely there it is. The response in the back is Zigalo was there in time. The turn and burn was great, but the defense still just a little bit better. 5-3 for Arise.
Yeah, that was great from Sosic. That's probably as good as you were going to do with the time you had left. And while I kind of applauded the patience, there wasn't much commitment there at the end. And you just ran out of time. I mean, that you have a little bit more time there, Spaceman. You might have Sosic make a play. You could kind of bait out the defender by hitting the defuse and seeing where they're at.
Yep.
Not going to happen. 5-3.
Back-to-back rounds, back-to-back-to-back for Cave Dummies that lead to back-to-back for Arise. Arise now 2 away from closing out the second series. Cave Dummies 4 away. We keep it moving. How are we feeling about this one? Is it just going to be another default through... Well, default is a bit of a loose term, I guess, for how these maps change. But the idea of avoid Hall at as many costs as possible, just try to get the site cleanly?
Yeah, I was just thinking in my head, all of the kind of close quarters with a lot of obstacles in your way tiles are on the sides of the map here. Kitchen, hall, construction. There's a lot of little sight lines and holes to hide in, whereas checkpoint into crates, into lockers is a lot more open. The one thing that you do have to worry about is pillbox, but really the windows are on the southern side. So if you're not going through that southern red door, well, that's not really going to be an issue. Defenders are absolutely planning for a checkpoint crates push into lockers, and that's exactly what I think the attackers are going for as well. It makes the most sense. It's pretty much the most direct way to get in there, and you don't have to fight through pillbox, which is why you don't want to go through hall.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know what happens. We know what happens on pillbox. It gets smoked, and then it's just a fiesta inside a pillbox.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed smoke spot every time. Like, there's no way you're going to get visibility there, but that's also why you see that long blue rotation on the right side of your map saying, look, Jet, or anybody who might be interested, we'll try to peel one off and then slowly rotate into sight, use that back anchor as an ability to shut down what could be a pitch from Arise. That's likely what we're going to get. We'll see how the offense approaches it. Setup looks pretty clean so far. 3 players triangling around each other. Triangling their defense around each other. Checkpoint the call. And into round number 9.
And you can actually see defenders have set themselves up in hall. So this little split push that the attackers are planning could be foiled very quickly here if they don't push enough numbers through hall.
Zigalo has an LMG. He's just sitting behind a wall that he could spray through.
It's the best map to use it.
Yeah, it's the perfect idea. There he goes.
No one there yet. And this is the point of the time here for Cave Dummies where things start to stall out. They have to find something. Oh, that's not what you want to find. That's a Lacking's barrel out of pillbox. Or excuse me, down hallway. Noon in pillbox takes a fight with Dylan. Dylan takes him down. Noon not able to do too much damage to him either. Another shot comes out from Dylan. Zigalo mowing Dylan down. Can't get another as Sosic able to trade it out.
The fact that this is even a 2v2 is actually surprising. With how janky some of this setup has been defensively from Arise. Really leaning in on the LMG play. Kick that door open for good measure. Why not? Of course, a little bit of an audio bait. Over to lockers. Timber gonna try to make the move through pillbox. AP-25 in his hands. Sosic. Working alongside. Sachi up front and Junker in the wing. Sosic begins to move south. Timber north into the door. Timber trying to land at the shot. It's not going to happen. Here comes the molly. Nade will follow. It's a flash. They have eyes on site. They have bomb control.
Joker.
Sosic gets 2. Arise responds quickly. Sachi in a 1v1 and gets the 1v1 on site. Defenders take the round.
Oh, man. And Juker got caught. He was reloading, trying to get back into the play behind the bomb. But as soon as he had to reload, Sosic pushed through and took him down. That's the closest I think Cave Dummies have come on this map attacking. That was a great push for them. Very patient. Once they got that LMG down from Zigolo as well, that was much, much easier for them. But man, again, Cave Dummies so close yet so far in some of these rounds where it feels like the execution, the plan was there. The execution is pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
But coming down to that 1v1 gun skill, just not adding up against some of these Arise players, especially when you got a player like Juker sitting behind the bomb. He's one of the last players alive. You're in a tough situation there.
And a lot of just small decisions in the end, whether or not it gets stretched out to the overall mechanics, the gun skill of the team, a lot of small decisions in those team fights that continue to go the way of Arise. Just small execution that does make the difference. And those opening picks do add up in the end. 6-3 right now, the lead for Arise. One more to take the series. Overall, they'll put 4 points on the board if they do so. Not out of it if you are Cave Dummies, but got to wonder how Bank will treat them, as last time they tried to double hit through main entrance. They got caught from a couple of corner campers, and that was enough to deal around.
We are getting a very nice cat drawing from Timber this round. I will say it is quite detailed. Looks very nice.
It's really good. Can you do the body? No? There it is.
You like that?
Yeah, it looks like you. There it is.
It's going to be a 4-1 push on the side of Arise. I'm assuming the 1 might just be a Saber, and it is going to be a Saber. In fact, they've marked it as a Saber in entrance. You win accounting, you win this map. That's for sure. And that's, I think, exactly what they're planning on doing. They're going to clack into manager and clear all the sight lines they've called out and make the push into accounting. Maybe if they're lucky, get a pick here. It will be Zigolo on the Saber, possibly. Unless they've decided not to go with the Saber at all.
Ooh. Oh, Noon got him. Noon got him. Sosic's like, what do I do now? My teammate just got wiped. Okay.
And I think Zigolo might be having some issues here, so it's going to be a 4v5. As Zigolo's still strapped in the truck.
It's a tactical play.
Let's just seeing if his team can do it.
Lacking. Not by any stretch. Junker takes out Timber. Noon picked up Chrome Trigger to begin the round. There goes a nade.
Oh.
It won't catch anybody in the back corner because nobody's there. But guess what? It's all down to the final two. So sick. Dylan. Dylan's in loans. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think you got to take up an angle here. And hope you can get one and get out. Sosic dodging gunfire. Sosic got to be careful. Into vault he goes. Dylan's going to run into one. It's lacking. He'll find it. 2v3. Dylan again in another confrontation. It's Juker to take him down. Sosic goes down as well. And in a 4v5 without Zigolo, Arise taking down Cave Dummy 7-3.
I want to take it as a headcanon that was all designed from the start. We'll take it as just simply Arise playing really good today. And Cave Dummies also playing pretty excellent in stretches, but long term, this was the Arise showcase that many had predicted, few expected. We wanted more rounds, but 7-3 is still pretty good. 7-1 versus 7-3. Arise will take it, only dropping 4 rounds today, and they do so at 3 straight against Cave Dummies in the middle of our matchup. But since those 3 offensive rounds from Cave Dummies, Corelli, it was Arise 4 straight rounds back to back to back to back. They looked so excellent. And even when we were chaining from map to map, from layout to layout, they just had an idea of how they were going to approach the round defensively. And their team shots are, bar none, maybe the best in the league right now.
Team shots, individual shots, very impressed. I mean, really, you could go down the roster and say how impressive they were. I thought Noon had some great long-range rifling going on. I thought Juker was in the mix so much, getting 2-for-1 trades. I felt like Zigalo had some high impact plays as well. Across the board, pound for pound, felt like Arise just better up and down. And I don't think that Cave Dummies necessarily had too many horrible rounds, but they definitely had a couple where Arise got the better of them. But overall, I think Cave Dummies, it came down to just not being able to execute once they got in. They weren't winning the crucial gunfights that opened up more space for them. They kind of got stuck a few times. And then putting themselves in a numbers down situation with the time ticking down. So very, very tough situations for Cave Dummies and a tough matchup, candidly. You're playing the best team in due process right now. It's very tough.
At this level, it really just is the difference of 1 or 2% marginally from a defensive strength to an offensive prowess. That is the difference now, and that is Arise showing that they're the best team currently in the league. But Cave Dummies still sitting around top 2 and a squad that we should be keeping our eyes on because they're going to be fighting for that championship overall. Arise, though, just way too strong today, and no matter what you threw at them, they were able to handle the business. Arise will take it 2-0 in the series, 7-1 first game, 7-3 in the second. Corelli, quick closing thoughts on Arise. Are they the team to beat?
Absolutely. 100% right now. I would say so. They look, again, just to repeat what I said, pound for pound, I feel like they've got some of the highest level players. Not that there aren't just as high level players on other teams, but when you go down the roster, the depth chart, they seem to be the deepest, and you can see why just from these 2 games alone.
They're a very good team, and they're currently sitting number 1 in the standings. Overall, they take their opening matchup against Cave Dummies 2-0. If you're just joining us, we're going to be jumping to a commercial break. When we come back, the final series or 2 of the day, it will be, of course, KHAOS versus Frogs. Another really stellar standout in KHAOS. We'll be talking about more when we come back from this break for Due Process League. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Due Process League. That is Corelli. I am Spaceman, and this is the second series of the day as we have on our docket KHAOS versus FROGS. Should be a fun one. We just concluded Cave Dummies versus Arise. Arise handled business in game one, 7-1 victory. And then in game two, a bit more back and forth, but Arise still do find the win, 7-3. They take it in dominant fashion. Those are the top two teams going at it in the top seeds. But now we go to KHAOS versus FROGS, where we saw KHAOS yesterday. And Corelli, this is another team that defensively looks like one of the best in the world. Talk to me a little bit about this matchup and what you're expecting to see.
Yeah, defensively looked good. I was really mostly impressed by the way they approached their attacks, the attacking side. They were executing at a very high level, just meaning that the plans that they were drawing up or the plans that we saw kind of materialize in front of us, they were able to execute at a very high percentage. They're very methodical, similar to a Rise, though I think had much less patience. Now, a big thing for KHAOS yesterday that we're not going to see today, no Photon. Their captain, Nomad's coming in today. So very interested to see how that changes things for KHAOS, if anything at all. But yeah, KHAOS, very high execution rate, I felt like, on the things that they were trying to execute, and they had a plan every single time. They were able to pivot in most cases. They didn't get stuck. We see a lot of teams kind of get stuck where they get some space, they win a certain set, and then they can't push any further. They can't get the trade. They can't get a kill, and they kind of run out of time. KHAOS never really had much of that issue, so I'm curious how FROGS are going to slow that down.
Remember, dueprocess.info. If you want to download the game, it's a fun one. It's great to play. I've played it with Corelli. I've played it against other people. There are people playing it right now. We got a whole league on your screen if you were just tapping in. Dueprocess.info. And of course, the QR code will be bouncing around throughout the majority of today, where you can find more information about getting involved with the game. If you like tac shooters, if you like just really vintage throwback boomer shooter vibes, aesthetic with great tactical gameplay and the ability to draw on the map and see that drawing in real time, that's something that attracted me to Due Process very quickly, Corelli.
If you're an artist.
I am quite an artist. Some say the Michelangelo of Due Process. Or
I will say, so far, Timber's been a pretty good artist. One of my favorites that we've seen out of the teams. Yeah, I like the cat. I like the little, at the beginning of the first series, he drew a little campfire with all of his teammates around.
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'm just saying.
That was good.
Listen, there's two different games being played here. There's Due Process, but there's also the artist side of this.
We do have Pictionary as a secondary competition in our stream. So go ahead, hit the QR code, download the game, and you yourself can be your own Leonardo DiCaprio if you choose. Let's keep it moving into our next match. Let's talk a little bit about what KHAOS bring to the table outside of the defense. When they played in their matchup yesterday against Mos Eisley Cantina, again, this is a team that would roll their quick defensive rounds into offense, a lot like what we saw from Arise, but it seemed like just KDR ratio. This was a team that also was, memory serves, was ranked like 86.333 overall as a team, one of the higher performing squads. This is a team that a lot like Arise they don't drop numbers quickly or often. So you're not going to get them in situations where they lose 2, 3, 4 in a defensive round. You're going to have to really pick your spots appropriately if you're Frogs. Do you think they have enough, Krell? You think that's going to be a doable task today?
It's always doable, Spaceman. It's always doable. But I do think from what we saw from KHAOS yesterday, it is going to be a tall order. From the Frog side, you know, there's a lot that they're going to have to bring. Also, I just want to say, I just realized we also don't have Diag. I believe Diag isn't playing today either. So that is going to change things up a little bit for the KHAOS side. We saw Diag have some huge impact plays, especially kind of at that anchor position in a few moments for KHAOS. But yeah, I honestly, I think it's very similar to what we were talking about when Arise went up against Cave Dummies. Was you have to stop the initial picks, the opening kills. You can't have that be bled out every single time you play a round. That's the biggest issue that we thought was going to happen against Cave Dummies, that initially and definitely did happen throughout that series in our previous set. I think it's going to be very similar for Frogs. They have to stop and not allow KHAOS to execute and get that first opening blood.
Yeah, here's the big problem right now for Frogs. As we look at both these teams in the standings, KHAOS is currently sitting 3rd overall with 4 points, 2 match wins, and a win overall in their series. Frogs are sitting 2nd to last, and they've only won 2 rounds in total in their matches so far in the league. So this is going to be not only a match for Frogs where they have to outperform their standard, but they're going to have to control the cadence of the game. If it gets too fast in that KHAOS is where KHAOS can find a lot of success, Corelli.
Yeah, that is the big scary part of that, is if you're not winning these rounds, you're not showing it consistently, KHAOS are going to run all over you. That's the kind of scary part here. So it is about, and it doesn't necessarily have to be all about getting the opening pick, but I do think that when it comes to KHAOS executing, especially early here, Frogs are going to have to learn that you've got to put a cork in it quickly, whether it's getting a kill or just smoking it off, letting players rotate back in, getting more numbers around the play, wherever you think the attack's coming from. That's going to be key because KHAOS do execute at a high level.
Chat says atomic bomb versus coughing baby. That's not nice. Don't do that's not nice, chat. It's a little funny, but it's not nice.
We're trying to be nice. Come on.
Listen now. Listen. This is the team average rating of 83.3. As Curly just mentioned, Photon, the captain, will not be playing today. But they bring in Nomad, who, again, if we're just going by the arbitrary statistics, Photon at a rating of 86, Nomad at 96, second highest on the roster overall behind Tommy. So you're losing your captain, but you're bringing in another sharpshooter, and you're just going to make things more interesting. Corelli, we don't often do it, but we might as well just have fun with it. Are you feeling predictions today? Go ahead, use your channel points in the chat for a prediction to get involved with more of the process. Are you feeling a prediction here? I'm going to go ahead and say that I think Frogs are going to take this 7-5 in both games. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go the complete opposite direction. I'm going to say KHAOS take it 7-2 in both games.
Okay. So at least Frogs will be doubling up on the rounds that they have won by 400%. So we'll take that.
that is one way to put it. Yeah. That is
yeah.
I guess it's not lying with statistics, but it's definitely putting a positive spin on it.
Get your statistics correct first and then distort them however you feel. That's Mark Twain. Listen, it is not atomic bomb versus coughing baby, but we can give you an atomic bomb versus coughing baby if you use your channel points in the chat to go ahead and get those predictions in. Get them in now for your matchup of KHAOS versus Frogs. KHAOS, the number 3 seed overall, just by pure record, and against Frogs, who are currently right above Project MK Ultra and below Mos Eisley Cantina, which is not only an interesting sentence, but the fact that we saw Mos Eisley Cantina, which were the victims yesterday of their series against KHAOS. Unfortunate for those at the lower side of the seeding to have to play against one of the top teams here. But if you want to be the best in due process, you got to beat the best, Corelli.
That's my line. That's what I always say. Yeah, it's true, though. It is true. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And that's the only way it happens. It doesn't happen by beating up on lesser teams. It only happens by beating and punching up. That's the only way it can happen. So, and it will happen for many of these teams. Will it be today? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out.
It doesn't happen by beating up on lesser teams. And then we look at KHAOS, who's now playing against 2 lower seeded rosters. So for them, I mean, this is a much more KHAOS are going to have to come out and outright lose the series. But Frogs, look, Frogs can come into this. They can watch the series yesterday against Mos Eisley Cantina. Frogs could come in and just shake it up. They could do literally anything they want because they're playing with house money in a way. There is such a substantial swing of expectation on KHAOS' shoulders to win this series, it seems like. But do you think that freedom for Frogs allows them any window of opportunity to really get crazy and catch KHAOS off guard?
Maybe, but I feel like we're sitting at, what, day 2, week 1. There isn't a lot of expectation. I think a lot of these players play against each other a lot, so they're very familiar with who's going to be good, who's going to be lesser. And I think that for a lot of these teams, there's an expectation on both sides of where they're going to place and how they're going to play in each of these games. And I can guarantee if you had to honestly talk to some of these teams, they could tell you exactly how these series are going to go.
Make sure our players are almost ready to get into things. Can I get Ethan's autograph? You'll have to ask Ethan.
You have to ask him.
You have to ask Ethan.
He's a popular man. We'll pull the paparazzi off him, and you could get his signature if we're lucky. We're just waiting.
Ready?
Yeah, we're waiting for these teams to jump in. In fact,
oh, I believe we actually might be almost.
We are indeed ready. I'm clicking in. I don't know about you, but I'm getting in there.
Amen. I like what I'm hearing. Into our first match, Frogs KHAOS, the second series of the day. First match on your screen. KHAOS, number 3 seeded team. Frogs, the number 2nd last seeded team.
Hello. Okay.
It's a tough one. You like that?
That
was not very good. So, yeah.
That was one way to put it. That's for sure. As we will start off, it will be Frogs on the attacking side, KHAOS on the defensive side. All right, Dynamic, are you the artist here for this team? Is that what I'm seeing? Is this another bear? Cat?
Nice, dude.
You never know.
Looks like squid.
There's always an artist. That's the thing. All right, looks like an entrance push. I kind of like that.
Okay. I don't think the offense is too worried about where they're going to really approach this. We're just kind of playing Pictionary right now.
Yeah, Ethan's shouting out everyone.
I think if you're new to due process and you're like, how could they draw on the map in real time? That is one of the benefits of this game. You can use a telestrator in real time and see it on the floor. And the only way you can do it is by playing due process at dueprocess.info and downloading the game. Go do it.
Shout out Lula and Edwin.
All love at the bottom. Okay. That's a hell of a strap from the offense.
I love how all the drawings have happened, and then there's just straight up, we're going to wall charge through entrance and run straight at the bomb. I love that.
We're hitting power, it looks like, because already a flare is down. Yes, we will. Into the setup phase. Now done with the setup phase. Defense is in a much tighter C-store than before, Corelli.
Yeah, tiny, tiny map.
No arcade.
No arcade, no freezer. Looks like a couple players are going to look out through storage, maybe see if they can find anything, but entrance smoked off. Nog gaining some information. You know you got a player in Teller. It's a good grenade down on the bomb. That's a good flash. He's going to push straight in. Nog gets 1 on Nomad. There's another player there. Nog gets 2, and he's on the bomb. He's just going to start straight defusing, and he doesn't even know it, but there's no one near the bomb. And in fact, if he stuck it, he'd probably have won by now. As Tommy and Ethan are fighting in the bathroom, Ethan goes down, but Nog can just hold this one. It's Nog the Frog. And Frogs up 1-0.
Didn't expect that kind of push, though. I got to be honest, there was a bit of a
They told us
in the back. I mean, I know, but I didn't expect them to like turn and burn in the corner on bomb to get 2 picks and then just hit the defuse.
They said we're wall charging through entrance and we're running right at the bomb, and that's exactly what they did.
It begins. The crumble of chaos. The Frogs are here. Do you feel it?
So,
that might be the smallest C-store I think we've seen so far this weekend. I mean, there was no arcade.
Yeah, that was a 2v2 map.
Yeah.
For sure. And hey, that's a great way to start off for the Frogs. So with the wall charge used, it looks like they're going to go and use a door charge now on backstage. It's getting serious now. Nobody's drawing. That's how you know. They're like, wait a minute, wait a minute. We kind of smoked them that first round. We got to lock in.
I'm really interested to know what Nomad's going to bring to the table today, simply because we just didn't see him yesterday. And this is also the second highest ranked player in the lobby behind Tommy at 98 overall, Nomad at 96.
Yeah, Nomad played really well in the preseason, the games that they did play. That's why his player rating is so high. Kind of curious which way. I think the call initially was to go through backstage, but now it appears to be going and walking through patio into reception. Tough fights here to take through reception into kitchen. But if you win kitchen, you can at least get behind the bomb, and then you have to worry about being wallbanged through bar and club. But
you can get a shotty into kitchen. You could at least alleviate some of the headache that bar and club bring. You're not going to save yourself from the wall shot, but you will be able to be a deterrent just enough to hopefully get a player up.
Yeah, winning kitchen is just so hard. So many tight angles that players like Roach sitting in kitchen don't actually need to peek it. They can just hold the sight lines coming up into the doorway. So the attackers will loop around. They're calling out the push into patio, but they're going to put a charge down on backstage. And instead, they're going to run straight through backstage. They're just walking right in. Tommy gets some damage down, but Broccoli fighting for the space, walking around with the shotgun. He's got a free shot, but can't finish off Tommy. Index trades out with Roach. So 4v4. Nomad gets 2. Dynamic trades out Nomad. 2v2 now. Dynamic and Nog the Frog still stuck inside backstage. Toxic gets another. Dynamic trades him out. Ghetto and Dynamic in a 1v1. And things might slow down here, as it was just a bloodbath in between backstage and club.
20 HP versus 11. Dynamic in a 1v1. There comes the route drawn on your screen. Ghetto in the slow rotation at 20 HP. Has to be careful how you move this. Minute 12. Close the door behind you. That's very polite. Dynamic taking their time. And this is just going to come down to sight.
A lot of util on the ground. Dynamic trying to clear his corners. I think Ghetto might just be playing for the bomb. Dynamic's going to have to gamble on which side does he think Ghetto's on. Feel like you got to hit the defuse to give a little bit of extra time here. Now he has the information. He's going to stick it, and he's instantly found. Ghetto through the wall. Precarious situation for Dynamic, but in the end, not able to close out the round. Ghetto holding it from the kitchen. The wallbang comes through.
Really was no strats for this round. It was just, we're just going to take the gunfights in club. I know we talked about it in the pregame of club's got to be dangerous because, you know, kitchen getting there is tough, but if you can set up, none of that matters. We're just going to straight up shoot each other at club, and then it's going to turn to a 1v1, and it's a guessing game at that point. That was, again, a round that could have gone either way. Frogs almost able to steal it away, but KHAOS will tie things up at 1 apiece. And now into the kill dome we go for round number 3. But this has been a hell of a start from Frogs, fearless as ever.
I mean, that was oh so close to clutching that one out from Dynamic. That's about as good as you're going to get in that situation, especially with the amount of health Dynamic had as well. Tough spot to be in. So now we go to Kill Dome. Attention brought over to the perch side. But kind of an interesting map here with Pit settled in between things. We haven't seen too many teams really push through Pit. And I don't know if they're going to send numbers that way. It looks like actually they might. They're going to blast through on the eastern side of pit. It just feels like running into pit. There's just so many sight lines you have to keep a hold of. You'll be hit from the long side. There's corners just about every step of the way. Yeah, you feel like you have to bring a riot shield. In fact, they're going to bring a lot of util just for this push into pit. So a big investment here from the attacking side. See if this one pays off for Frogs.
Beach at the north. I don't think we've seen that yet. All things looking up Millhouse. 3-2. We will split. Earlier, it was a rise at a 4-1 that eventually changed from their 3-2 hits. But we get into Kill Dome for round number 3. On the attacking side, the boys in blue Frogs. Defense set up. And working underneath. We'll see if it is beach or if not. They'll be moving in main and through to pit.
I think it's definitely going to be a split from what we've seen. 2 going pit, 3 going beach, possibly. Ghetto's getting information here. Toxic gets index with that mop. So that's going to slow things down on the Frog side.
Just a little bit. The mop is insane. Toxic's even better. Dynamic slowly creeping up the beach. Broccoli doing their best D-Day impression, but nobody else is around, wasting a lot of time. Nomad watching the cross, can see them through the window. But luckily for them, there's a wall. Just listening for the audio cue. And still waiting on that push from dead mid in pit. Not Frog and Ethan have been waiting for Broccoli to move into position before they start to move.
Yeah, I think they want to make as few variables possible. And that's a great... Did Ghetto fall into the pit? I think he did. And now I think pit's wide open, or at least from the attacker side, they think pit's wide open. And it is. Nomad sitting in observation where the bomb is. Toxic rotating through ruins. The push might come through, and they better do it quickly. Flashes come out. That's a great peek from Nomad. Dynamic trades it out. Toxic on Nog the Frog. And with the mop, oh my. Don't do it to him.
Do it. Oh, can't land a shot, but has a pistol just to boot. Might want to dip out of dodge here. Uses bomb for cover. Reloads the mop. There comes a flash. Not going to connect. Toxic. Sniper in hand. Molly helps out. Defenders win the round. Didn't even need to use the sniper in the end.
Yeah, that was a great Molly. And that was a tough position for Dynamic and for Ethan. At that point, I mean, oh, did Toxic just fall into the pit? At that point, you know, you're kind of committed to the push and observation. And so you can't, you don't have a lot of time to go back around. You don't have enough information to go back around, but you're kind of corralled into there, and a Molly can take care of a lot of the space.
You know, Curly, I think the one positive outside of many well-played rounds from Frogs that we're seeing right now is they're drawing these rounds out. They're really forcing it down to either time on clock to bomb or not just following up on first blood and saying, now we need to trade, we got to play numbers. They are really trying to pull KHAOS out of position and force a lot of one-on-ones, which, again, if you're going against one of the best teams in the league, the longer you draw these rounds, the more opportunities you have to take advantage of those mistakes.
Yeah, it is interesting. There, a lot of teams we've seen so far have really tried to just run in, you know, just bum rush the call, right, and execute the plan quickly. Few teams that we've seen have been a little bit more patient. I think the two that we've seen that have been the most patient have been Arise and KHAOS here. KHAOS is on the attack. Let's see how they approach this Seesaw map. We just saw Frogs basically just blow through entrance and run straight at the bomb. But Frogs do have some barbed wire. And it looks like KHAOS are going to expect it.
Another small version of C-Store. Another very tiny C-Store. Interesting. We're going to clock entrance? No.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling it?
Yeah, I think they're going to run a very similar setup here to what Frogs did. Wall charge entrance. Try and get some, establish yourself in storefront just a little bit. It won't be, I mean, they could quite easily just blow entrance, grenade the barbed wire as what they're planning to do, and just do the exact same thing Frogs did. Frogs are very concerned on storage side, but I don't think attackers are even going to bother.
I mean, Index is right next to him. This is a hell of a start. An interesting round. Here comes the wall charge. Here we go. Right into entrance. Call it. Blow it. Hold your breath.
Ooh. Tommy saw a little head poke up in the back. He got one. It's Ethan. There's the pick. There's the rush.
Broccoli's weak as well. He's got 40 HP. If he goes down, that's your entire back line. They're going to have to force the fights up close. Nog the frog.
Here's the frag. I think they're just going to rush it after that frag. Flashes are coming out. Here comes the rush. Ghetto first one in. 3 go towards bomb. Ghetto trying to get an eye on anyone. Roach takes down Nog, and they might just stick this. There's nobody here on the side. Index has to make something happen, but he's taken down. A follow-up now from Ghetto on Dynamic, and as quickly as you like, Spaceman, the round's over. And again, quick execution from the attackers to just bum rush that bomb.
A flawless round as well. All members stay up, which just means that they get to hold on to what they got. And they'll go on the hunt to see if anything spicy's laying on the ground. But Corelli, that was first pick into second into we have the site, it's over. It's GG's.
And it was a little bit more methodical than what we saw from Frogs. They would kind of stopped at entrance, looked for picks, stopped at the top of storefront, looked for picks, then used the frag grenade on the barbed wire, and then as soon as they got rid of that barbed wire, they knew their lane was open, flashed out, pushed through. Very, very well executed there from KHAOS.
We keep on changing it up. We'll go into our next round, round number 5 on your screen. 1st to 7 is the rules, 12 total rounds in total. Total that up. We got 2 series on the docket. We already finished 1 today. This one, almost halfway through our first. KHAOS starting to take a commanding lead. They lost the first round. Frogs have been doing a great job of staying contested, but KHAOS do win 3 straight. And we'll see what they can do yet again as they move to the attacking side.
It looks like a split push through kitchen, or once they, or excuse me, this is from the defender's side. This is what they're predicting, but it is what attackers are showing as well. Attackers are going to go through this little pocket outside of kitchen, though. I think Riot Shield is the best way to push through kitchen. At least in my experience, because again, it's just so tough. They're going to invest a clacker on this interior door towards the bomb, which I kind of like, actually. This is going to be a very interesting round if attackers can execute what they want to execute here. I'm assuming they're going to be coming through patio. And they'll split through that little pocket under kitchen.
Save the clacker if you don't have to use it, right? I mean, just off raw gun skill alone, you might be favoring KHAOS in this situation.
You could, but then again, with the way teams play these maps, they like to sit behind the doors and shoot through. If you clack that, you might get a free kill.
Here we go. Into round 5. Looks like it'll be a 5-man hit. Patio. Defense is pulled back, relinquishing most of the northwest side of the map. Nog the frog in kitchen, working with Dynamic. Tommy getting very aggressive. Nog letting some shots ring. Doesn't land much. And the torch is ready to go.
Yeah, you need this Riot Shield here because players can hear the torch come through. So that protects the torch user. Gives a ton of information. Toxic does peek through and gets Dynamic, so this might help things a little bit more. They might not even need to use their door charge. Nog trades it back.
Another split. Defense having to regroup towards club side. Index is pulled back very, very far.
And here comes the door charge from Tommy. It's going to help with that barbed wire as well.
I think it's
Nobody's actually on the door. He was waiting for shots to maybe use it. Someone back in the corner? No. Tommy might be able just to stick this. Ethan's got to shoot through the wall. Gonna get him off. Tommy's taking shots and burning. Broccoli's gonna get Tommy. Plenty of time here. Broccoli gets another. It's up to Ghetto, and I don't think they know Ghetto is sitting deep behind bomb. Maybe they do. Ghetto returns fire. Sticky situation. He does get Broccoli. I don't think he knows where Index is.
Index has 10 HP. Index gonna have to be careful on the peak. The slide. Got him. Got him. Just in time. A very, very cautious peek around the corner. That's all he needed. The defenders take the round, and Frogs get their second.
Yeah, I really like that play from attackers, honestly. It's a shame it didn't work out, but that was a very fun attack coming out from attackers. Using the torch, the riot shield, and a door charge on an interior door is really fun to see, and it had all of its uses as well, so it wasn't for nothing. Unfortunately, did not pan out there. Over to Killdome. 3-2 in favor of KHAOS at the moment. KHAOS will be staying on attack. Curious to see how they approach this map. This time, you know, we saw Frogs go through Pit, Spaceman, and maybe lurk through Beach last time. This time, we're going to see KHAOS, I think, just hit Perch hard.
I'd keep a snipe back there. I mean, over in this corner towards Toxic if I could. That's what the mop kind of spelled out most of the round last time when we were here in Killdome. Beach was a two-man hit where nobody else was around. They slow crept into Pit. But the mop took care of the rest. They really want to cut off this Ruins to Perch to Observation. They don't want to have to deal with Pit or Beach at all. Keep the contest close to sight.
Yeah, this is a much stronger push if you win, because obviously you'll have the breakers on the Ruins side as well. So, you know, the difference is when we saw Frogs push through and lurk through Beach into Pit and blast through Pit, they never really had any agency over the breaker. It was basically get to the bomb and defuse it, and that's it. For KHAOS, they do have the option. They don't have to, but they do have the option of using the breaker and turning off the lights if they so choose. I think the defense is ready for it, though. Yep. They are heavily playing towards Perch side, which is what we saw from Frogs as well. This time they'll be rewarded with their prediction. One curious thing is, does anyone lurk through Beach? I don't know. Doesn't look
I don't think Nomad will. No. I mean, they might hit it late, but this would come down to if they get the pick or not, then split the numbers, then play the strat. Ethan's going to go ahead and back up. He sees all of them. Yeah. There's the free info. That's just absolutely free info. They still get him.
Dynamic trying to find a head. Got some damage down for sure there, but not finishing it off. Broccoli and Nog. And Nog again for 2. It's up to Nomad. He's got to go huge here, and it's a 1v4. He's got a lot here. That's a free kill. Nog not looking the right way. If your defense here, you just let him come to you. Don't need to overstay your welcome, and you have the sight lines to close it off. Broccoli to finish it out. And we're all tied up.
Well. We might be going 7-5 in the end. Who would have thought that Frog would be so darn good on defense against one of the best defensive teams? Granted, we didn't see a whole lot from KHAOS yesterday offensively that should have worried us. They didn't really have to do too much when they were winning their game 7-2. They could essentially just lean on the defensive holds. But this is an instance where Frogs are also as clean defensively. And they're not panicking in situations where they have the advantage. They're letting the plays develop. They're taking control of the round.
So we get our first bank map in our 7th round. Will be KHAOS on the attack. And I mean, looking at this, there's a lot of opportunity here. I feel like lobby is a pretty safe way to gain entry. I do like the hallway play that the attackers are pointing out as well. Definitely have to be careful of bathroom. That's the biggest, I think, part of this execution is clearing out bathroom cleanly. You don't want to trade with the guy in the bathroom holding a shotgun. I don't even think defenders are going to plan for that, but you get through hallway. That's your most direct way to the vault button. And then you fight your way back out towards the vault. Whether that's back through loans or back through security.
Here's the question. Like, instead of just going through loans, if you do hit vault, do you split through security and then double back outside through entrance and just try to use this space to your advantage? Like, why force a lot of these close quarters gunfights? The manager and loans, if you can get the defense to double back with you.
Yeah, and ideally, I mean, the players holding loans and manager don't let someone walk up, hit the vault button, and then walk back in hallway for free, ideally. And you can see why there's so many lines over your screen in hallway. That's going to be the big breaking point for both sides. I think it's actually going to be a split push here through that hallway door and entrance. Because that really puts players in security in a bind. And especially looking up at Ethan there and Teller, he's holding a shotgun, so he's really not relevant as far as, you know, putting damage down. He's got to come all the way up if he wants to do that.
Index has an angle with the Ingmar. But it won't be all the way to the door outside. They've smoked off Teller. Approaching company waiting for their approach inside. They'll go through main into the lobby. They drop the riot shield, quickly leaving some stuns out, and into Teller we go. First blood.
Gotta be careful if you're Brock Lee. You can't go down there either. Shots coming out, but Tommy should be able to push up through hallway safely. I know he's got to clear it out himself, but other than Nog's shots through the wall, he's pretty safe all the way up into security. Or at least this breaking point.
Oh, Nog the Frog in a 1v1. Gets caught. Toxic will take him down. Dynamic begins to rotate, but realizes, look, I'm in no man's land. I got to be careful and just try to play my life and buy out time in the round. They know certainly somebody's got to be Hall.
This is all about time right now.
Ethan's not moving at all. Oof. Ethan's not moving at all. Like, I understand you're kind of out of position here, but...
This is a tall ask for Ethan. And honestly, the faster he can get to the engagement seat, the better before everyone collapses down on top of him. Might get Nomad. He hears him. Oh, there we go. There's one. Can he get two? No, Roach was there to follow up. And that will end the round. So patience there from Ethan pays off for one. But he had to go through four more.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like they're setting up for, again, having Ethan in a power position. But those opening two picks really do shut off most of the map towards accounting. Hall was a 3v1. It just came down to when the peak was going to happen. And in the end, another round for KHAOS. They'll trade it, though. Frogs will relinquish the lead for now, but 4-3, a lead back, a change. The fourth time that's happened this game.
I'm just laughing. Ethan calling out the recent shotgun nerfs that happened a couple days ago. You know what? That's whose fault it is.
Tetras?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an easy blame game right there.
Yep. If you have channel points in the chat, go ahead and do hashtag Tetra to get all of your rage out about the shotgun nerfs as of late.
I mean, they were like lightsabers, you know. They were pretty strong.
I've seen you do dirty work with them.
Yeah, you can shoot across the map with them, or you used to be able to.
They were like model 1887s for those who know.
Yeah. The dualies.
Yeah.
Yep. On the factory. Tight series. Tighter than this is not hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby right now. That's for sure. This is
more like coughing baby versus coughing baby in this one.
Wall charge down in through dock. Thoughts on that? Looks like defenders are definitely calling out the wall charge play through storage. But that's not what's going to happen. It looks like it's actually come from behind them. The big benefit of coming through dock is that if you can get in, you'll instantly have sight lines to both sides of the map, and you don't have to mess around with winning close quarter combat. It just means that your shot has to be on when you press in. It looks like they want to get a smoke. That'll help the sight lines coming down from office. They get that smoke out. They can at least gain some of the space towards the bomb. But they still will have to deal with office just a little bit.
So no wall charge. Try to hit the interior door. Worry about the barbed wire. Flare towards sight. Pick off left corner. Or smoke left corner. Then check the pick. Flash on the bomb.
I think defenders are going to hard pivot here, though. I think they're expecting something different. I don't think they're really thinking about the dock push right now.
Oh, Ethan?
There's no sightline from office here. So it'll be on Ethan, Index, and Dynamic to hit their shots. They know they're coming through dock.
Your head down. The nade has to land. There goes the nade. Smoke is in. 2 smokes to boot. They'll get in cleanly. Index. He's going to get caught just as they start to breach. The only one up is Nog the Frog in office trying to let some shots ring out at range. Tommy's going to take down 1. And the second Roach will be there for the cleanup.
They might just be able to get this for free. I mean, even if there were more players up from office and servers, I mean, Roach could just sit behind this, no problem, unless they have any util, which obviously they're all dead now. But that was a free defuse once they got those 2 picks on Ethan and Index. Defenders did not have much more to say. And that's what I was saying. I think defenders were going to have to hard pivot, but that rotation out of office and out of servers is very tough and very long. Could not happen in time.
That was a really quick round. Like one of the quickest we've seen between these two.
Yeah, that's good play. Good play from the attackers.
I want you to go ahead and draw me up the 3-2 split. What does that look like to you?
I like the 5-man push. That's what we just got.
Lead for KHAOS.
And we know, I mean, KHAOS, you know, they're gonna execute on these. We've seen it multiple times where these types of calls come out and they execute quickly. And defenses, if defenses allow them to do what they want, you can see what happens. The round ends so fast.
We finally have arcade on C-Store for the first time in this series. Does that change things? Yeah. What does this potentially bring? We'll hold off the choke point on red. It looks like, again, entrance will be the call. They're going to go ahead and use the torch. Take down some of the shutter. Maybe clack in office side. Try to force that fight. Pull attention away from storefront towards the office. Use positioning you have at entrance to basically delete 1/3 of the map here.
And you do have the opportunity to hit the breaker. It is pretty close to entrance if you were to win that. Because bombs tuck into bathroom and not sitting in storefront, there's value in going for the breaker here. And there's a big 3 written over office for attackers. It appears defenders are expecting that Office push. We've seen when Office is out on the edge like this, a lot of teams like to push it. Attacking teams like to push it. And I think it's just because it gives you two options. Here it's connected to two different tiles. So you can get into bathroom, which gives you straight access to the bomb. You can get to teller, which gives you sightline into storefront. So we'll see if the execution is there for KHAOS.
Process.info if you want to play the game. Get involved. Hang out. One of the best shooters on the market, Nomad. Cheeky little peek. Extinguisher is there, and so is Amali.
Tommy's creeping around. I like this from Tommy. He's getting some attention. I think Ethan heard it, but I don't think he wants to mess around with it too much.
Broccoli just sitting in the back of the bathroom. Like, talk about dismantling a backline. Broccoli could be spoiler here. Do you have the riot shield?
Careful, Ethan's got the sight line. He's got the sight line. Oh, but he gets help from Tommy. Toxic was in a very tough situation.
They punched themselves in bathroom. Outside of dynamic, look at where the defense is now. How do you work out of this? I know bomb is there, but you're going to have to fight your way out of a chokehold, and there's nowhere to go.
Oh, no, Index. I think he got mollied and then threw a molly himself and ran into it. Now the auto shotgun from Broccoli has to go big here.
It's in the stall. He's in the stall. Broccoli. Broccoli, you madman. Waiting. Eats the nade. Zooms in on the auto shotty.
Right,
Toxic making a move. Toxic's in.
Oh, they might all go past him. Never mind. They open up the door. Is he for good for two? No, he's not. He gets one. The defuse is coming out. Dynamic can't get in. It's up to Nog. It's already 50% diffused. Nog cannot get the kill. And KHAOS again with 4 up. Patiently execute the bathroom push.
And you can see Ethan circling power, saying, we had to hit it. We had to at least make their life a little bit more difficult, getting through office, getting inside storefront. I mean, I understand bomb was in bathroom, but they had pulled themselves into a kill box in that site, and they lost so much ground on the map. Even the late rotation coming out in the end from Nog was not enough, Corelli.
Well, even then, not all, but most players had night vision goggles as well from KHAOS, so pulling the lights might have only hurt their team more in the end. So now we go back to switching sides. It's match point for KHAOS, 6-3. Can Frogs pull something out here on bank?
Don't leave Ethan alive again inside servers. Let that man get involved. What is dynamic drawing up here? Okay. Expect the entrance push again.
It's a great question. What is that draw?
Is that a clacker?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it the map? Like some representation of the map or something? I'm just not... I don't think they could see us drawing, but if they could, I'd give
just my own mental health. What is this?
Oh, factory. Okay.
Oh, good shout. You know, why not? Why not just draw the other map?
Very similar push from Frogs that we saw from KHAOS here. Going through entrance and then splitting off from manager and security. The only difference is, I believe, KHAOS went through this bathroom, or rather hallway door. They're going to want to take manager. That's what they're looking at. In fact, they look like they more want to go through manager and into loans and then the hallway instead of security and walking into hallway. It's more corners to win, but a stronger position if you come out on top.
They will definitely be drawing out the hit through hallway with this barbed wire. Nomad gets it down. Does. Tommy's still holding on to theirs. Here's the push, though. This could be for the first series. Defensive hold. from KHAOS. Frogs on the attack. Windup begins. Entrance is the call. Nobody connecting.
Ooh,
Molly.
Ethan.
Oh,
I got him.
that flush is excellent from Toxic. That Molly lands perfectly, gets the line of sight he wants, and executes for the first blood.
They got to pick that torch back up if they want to get in. They got to get rid of that barbed wire. It is Broccoli on the torch. Oh, he was so close to finishing that barbed wire off, too. Here comes the push. Index is in deep already. It's good for 1, good for 2. Everyone's looking at printer paper. Nobody can see Index. He gets 3. The push is on for attackers.
What a flash. Index going crazy, trying to get 4 in the round. Index still up on your screen. The hip fire from Index has been lights out. It's a 1v2. Keep this first series alive. Index hunting.
Just got to open up that vault.
Open the vault. Look at the defense. They know exactly what's going on.
This is going to be so tough. You will have a one-on-one engagement against Tommy here. They're both very weak, but so is Index. Oh. Thought that he backed him up just a little bit to have time to kick open that door, but not going to happen. 7-3 is the scoreline. KHAOS taking it.
Not a bad stretch of games or rounds, I should say, from Frogs, especially when it came to Killdome. But in the end, just a little too strong. KHAOS, once again, defensively, a very, very tough team to beat. Looked like even with that 3-piece there, Corelli, that Frogs were going to be able to steal something out in that round number 10. But 7-3, not a bad scoreline, but again, for KHAOS, just kind of business as usual defensively. Frogs showed a lot of resolve, pulling rounds late into the last 30 or so seconds, focusing a lot on heavy pushes towards bomb, committing 5-man units at a time. KHAOS, however, do handle it, and it just felt like for them, you know, they slowly adjusted as the game got going, and once they did, they didn't stop.
Yeah, I remember this was, like a 3-3 series at one point, so it was very, very close, very back and forth, but again, execution defensively, I think, really paid off for KHAOS this time around. We did see plenty of great attacking execution, but like that last map, perfectly done, especially when you get mowed down by Index and he gets a 3-piece. Very tough to come back from that. They do, and actually get a numbers up situation near the end in a 2v1 situation. So yeah, I think for KHAOS, again, we talked about how great they are on their execution, the planning phase of the game. We saw that once again in this first series.
Yeah, really the positives for Frogs taking themselves into the second series has to be that they were handling some of the misfortunes early in rounds quite well. I mean, we look at the fact that they got a 3K off of the flash moving into bank. They take out a lot of defense from KHAOS. Like, though they lose the round, they're handling a lot of those very precarious situations quite well, responding to, we lose first blood, we'll get 2 right back. That's the kind of attitude they need to have going into the next series, Corelli, if they want a chance to take down this team, because KHAOS are going to prove that no matter what happens, they're just going to be in a position to outshoot their problems. But Frogs do have something up their sleeve, and we'll see what that might be going into our next series. Before we jump, though, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we continue on with day 2 of the first week of the Due Process League. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks, to day number 2 of week number 1 of the Due Process League. That is Corelli. I'm Spaceman, and we are carrying you through the action here this weekend with more action to follow in our last match of the day overall. KHAOS versus Frogs. KHAOS take it 7-3, now moving into their final match of the day against the same team. Does feel like Frogs are starting to figure out the rhythm just a little bit, and they were playing KHAOS a bit closer in certain offensive rounds, but KHAOS, one of the best teams in the league, currently sitting 3rd overall in the standings, and for Frogs, unfortunately, they're having to play some of the best teams back-to-back days, and another instance where they're just gonna have to swing above their weight class, Corelli.
Yeah, I was just looking at some of the statistics that we have from that previous game, and just the opening duel stat kind of tells the story. Tommy, 3 for 3, Toxic, 4 for 4, Roach, 1 for 1, Ghetto, 1 for 1. Like, this was Nomad 0 for 1 was the only player that wasn't perfect on their opening duel. So a lot of opening kills are leading to a lot of success here. It's why we saw a 7-3 scoreline on the KHAOS side. They are just simply winning the gunfights early.
Sometimes that's what it comes down to, even with that 3-piece inside bank off of the flash from the last round. KHAOS handle business. Remember, you can get involved here with Due Process at dueprocess.info, where you can go find ways to play the game, to download the game, and to join this fabulous community. There's a QR code right there. Go scan it, pull it up on your phone, download the game. If you love 80s, 90s aesthetic boomer shooter with great guitar riff music and wonderful tack shooter elements with the ability to draw on the map in real time for a telestrator, which is very cool, you can download Due Process and come play and hang out with us. As Corelli and I have been playing the game, we've been loving it. We've been playing almost daily. I love C-Store. Corelli loves Killdome. Right? Is that your map?
I don't know. I like most of the maps. I don't know if I have a favorite, really. They're all kind of fun in there.
He's usually in docks if you ever see him. So if you go play docks and you see a guy hanging out there with a sniper, that's usually Jack.
That's not true.
That's
not even true.
No. Go ahead. That's fine. You know, you say whatever you want. A single point for the team that plays top 4 at the preseason. 1 draw in 4 maps. Listen, sometimes points don't fall the way they should, chat. But what they can do is get your predictions in now for who you think is going to win the second match of the series. It is, of course, KHAOS versus Frogs. Hashtag KHAOS, hashtag Frog in the chat. And we will be giving away Corelli at the end of the stream. So if you want to win yourself a nice little caster, you can do so and use those channel points for the prediction. Corelli, KHAOS looks really, really good. Is it just a story of tape? Are we going to go back to a KHAOS victory here in game 2? What are you thinking?
I mean, I did predict them to 2-0 in this set. I said 7-2 in both games. I was off by 1 game, but I do think that KHAOS will probably win the next set, and I do think that it'll be a similar score line. In fact, I do think Frogs played really well. They got that opening kick in the teeth, right? The attacking side, that small 2v2 C-Store map. They were able to just like bum rush it and get in there. So that was a great start for them. They got 3 rounds. It was 3-3 at one point. So you know you can trade blows and go back and forth here against KHAOS. But how long can you keep it close? That's the real question, because obviously KHAOS were able to kind of pull away near the end.
Again, 12 rounds on the docket. You need 7 to win. If you get 6 and the other team gets 6, you get 1 point for drawing. You get 2 points for winning. You get 0 points for not winning. We try to keep it simple here at the Due Process League. And so far, it's been a really fun day, man. Like yesterday was kind of, everybody was catching their bearings. First day of the season. We're figuring out where things are going. Today has been, however, a back and forth affair for 2 top heavy teams and those still fighting for their chance to get to that spot. Cave Dummies, Arise were the 1 and 2 respectively. They go back and forth. Arise just looks fantastic in game 1, a little bit closer in game 2, but Arise takes it. And here, KHAOS and Frogs battling it out, duking it out down to the wire. Still, a 7-3 victory did not tell the tale of the tape for Frogs. It looked really good in the late cadence of some of these rounds. And these are 2 teams that, again, have been putting on a show into this weekend. Corelli, the action's been really, really good to start the league.
Yeah. And just to your point there, I wanted to say, you know, like that last round on Bank from Index, great flashes over the top of Lobby, and then, you know, picking up 2-3 players. I mean, those are the types of impact plays that you're going to need where you're getting 2-3 kills out of one player. So if Frogs can put together a little bit more of that, they're going to have a better chance. But those have come far and few between.
Going to take a lot for this team to get all the way down to the end of what could be a decisive game number 2. But for KHAOS, business as usual. We'll see what they can bring to the table. I believe we are ready to get going, and we should be, as the lobby is up, the players are in, and with it, we will move on to our second and final series of the day of KHAOS versus Frogs. KHAOS take the first one. Again, reminder, 7-3, but it was Frogs who opened up proceedings with the opening round. and Frogs, who looked like the team to beat for the first 2 or 3. We were tied 3-3 at one point, and that was the last time that Frogs had any semblance of a lead.
So we're back on bank. Just taking a look at what we... Excuse me, C-Store. You're right.
How dare
I don't know why I
best
said
map
bank.
in the game.
I don't know why I said bank. Just taking a look at what we've got. Sorry, I was loading in, but... So entrance is always, we always say is in play in pretty much every single round.
Yeah.
I do like this play of blasting the arcade door. You could split off from arcade into office, and now you've opened yourself up a new door into teller. And heck, if you win teller, you could even open up the shutter button and let players come in from entrance. So lots of options by blowing this wall in teller. And I like this play coming out from attackers. They will have to deal with a little bit of barbed wire. We'll see if there's a player playing in arcade or around it from storefront. But I like this play a lot coming out from the attackers.
I wonder who's going to go entrance. Wink, wink, nod, nod. It's usually the default. It feels like for KHAOS a lot of the time. See what they pick up?
I feel like because Shutter is in teller, you got to have someone lurking entrance. Even if it's like a 4-1 type of deal.
Go ahead and draw me up the old 3-2 split there, bud. What are we thinking? Got a 4-1.
Yeah.
Nice. Broccoli.
I'd say go for the 4-1 if I were them, but they might just bum rush it all 5. This is what's worked for them before as well, so I don't blame them.
Gonna leave the door charge. You see me the wall charge on the ground. Couple opening shots. Nog the Frog. Tags for a couple and gets first pick. Beautifully done.
The smoke on teller as well and into storefront. Now they just have to deal with office. Nomad's letting it rip and does get some damage down on Nog. Here comes the wall charge.
Spraying.
Whoa, caught a player out throwing a molly, and it's Tommy who gets caught out from Broccoli. Nog gonna blow the wall through teller. Instantly
regroup back
rushed
inside. Oh, that's an insane retrace. Broccoli's into sight as well. Dynamic around 2. Nomad in the gunfight. Index taken 1 by Roach, and it's now a 2v2 inside teller. Roach now in a 1v3, and Roach gets pidged. Everybody collapses. It's Dynamic on the site, and the defuse in for the offense. Another round to begin for Frogs.
Yeah, that's a great round from Frogs. They did this last set too. They came out swinging on the attacking side on C-Store. And I love the delay in that wall charge as well. They sat, waited to see what information they could get from office, what information they would get through storefront. And then they blew that wall open. And I will say the defense was packed in there quite tightly, but could not take on that overwhelming firepower. And Index on that flank through storefront was what really opened things up for him.
Wall charge caused a little bit of panic. Like once they hit it, everyone's like, oh God, wait a minute. They're coming in behind us. And really good execution when plays break down in the KHAOS. That's something that Frogs have done consistently in this matchup today. Even though KHAOS has been winning the game outright, Frogs have shown that they can absolutely go toe-to-toe with this team in gunfights.
Especially when they got the right plan. That was the right plan for that map. But you're right, especially with players like Index, who I feel like is really heating up now. A little bit slow start in the first half of set 1, but the back half really started to play a lot better. Already big impacts here in round 1.
Great start if you're a fan of Frogs. And for them to get some confidence back on the board of, look, we had a close 7-3 loss in our last game. The score does not tell the tale of the stats or how the pressure was exchanged between both teams. Frogs look like a team that can absolutely take the cadence against Nomad, Tommy, Toxic, Ghetto, and Roach. And now into Bank, the map that ended the run for Frogs last time. But they have a little bit more magic in them to go up 2-0.
Very tough vault button to get to. Winning accounting is very tough for attackers. So many lines, so many entrances and sight lines. Players from manager can shoot through. not only the doorway, but the sight line, and then from servers as well. But according to attackers, they're running it straight down the middle. Straight into accounting, and that might be the most direct way to do it.
Think about that.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. You just have to be careful about who's in teller and who's in security. There is small sight lines there that allow for players to shoot back through lobby. Can turn into a little bit of a kill box if you don't smoke or play those off nicely, but with the way Frogs have played in their kind of straight up attack, it's panned out for them most of the time. Looks like they do have a clack or two, so they might be blowing manager as well.
Gotta say, the music in this game is so good. Every round, I'm like, let's get it going. Are we waiting on the clack? We are. Index sitting entrance. It's a 4-1. Go ahead and draw that up for me. Here we go. Into accounting. And directly into accounting through manager we go.
Good opening break there for Nomad on Broccoli. Lots of lines being held by the defense. Nomad again putting down some shots. You really look at Index to be the X factor here on entrance, though Ghetto's holding him. Index looking the wrong way. Be careful. It might just be Index who's left here in the end. And it is, and mopped up. Our Frogs didn't even drop a player on the side of KHAOS.
Yeah, it's a team on defense that's really tough to beat, man. They're really, really tough. It's not just positioning, but their team shots, one of the best in the game. Up there with Arise, up there with Cave Dummies. It'll be tough for Frogs to have to deal with that. And especially, like, just simply once they lose more than first blood off of the clack, at what hope, and this is more rhetorical, at what hope do you have for entrance to be a viable push when you've lost so many numbers that they can just trade it out? It's like you're orchestrating this hit together. You're hoping that things go the right way. But once you kind of lose the top end of the map, the bottom end just simply becomes a default hit that the defense is ready for.
Yeah, I guess in that situation, you were looking for a pick somewhere and then eventually try and pinch, but tough break. And on to factory we go. Lots of things being drawn. In fact, I think attackers drew on every single door to enter into the site besides Dock. So could be a server farm push. I don't mind the server farm push, especially if you can win server farm, you move up and you have lines into conveyors. You do have to worry about power, though. It looks like they don't even want to go that way. They want to go down through servers and then pinch from sorting. And considering that Office doesn't have a sightline directly onto the bomb, you really only have to worry about storage entrance as well. So don't hate this play. It's going to come down to winning server farm without dropping all of your players.
They're able to get through sorting. You can also just throw smoke right here. And you basically cut off the rotate. You cut off the line of sight from Office as the players rotate. Cut this off. Move to bomb. There's, again, like the spacing that this map affords can oftentimes spell chaos for a defense. That's where the defenders usually have to play a bit ratty as they get late into the round. Flare is down, so expect the power to go quickly. Maybe not. Just in case. Here we go.
The good news is defenders are set up pretty well for this. Ghetto's going to have some information for sure, and so does Nomad. Two players going around towards sorting. Tommy hasn't moved quite yet. He's waiting, and he's going to know here soon.
Got shots into server. Yeah, does Tommy hear that? Does Tommy hear the rotation? That's the question. Ghetto certainly moving back to help. Broccoli heard Ghetto move. Tommy hears them for sure. There comes the barbed wire. Coach.
They have the answer.
Nade. Nobody falling just yet.
Oh, this is good control from the attackers. You just need to find the pick. You need one.
Can't push Ghetto. Nog cannot push Ghetto. He's going to get crossed by Roach or Tommy. Nomad's going to be there on the angle as well.
Oh, Toxic got one with the
gets
mop.
Index. That's huge. And now they start to move in, but do they have enough? You got a riot shield in front, and now you've given away your position and the round, at least in terms of info. They know what you're up to.
Yeah, they got a pinch here now. And they are from sorting, but Ghetto takes down one. Dog able to trade back. Roach on Ethan. Broccoli taken down by Ghetto, and just like that again, it's all five down with 4 up for the defenders. It just felt like that one fell apart, Spaceman. They got into server farm cleanly. They even won servers. But getting into conveyors, there's just so many lines for you to look at and to control. It's tough to get in.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Like, they basically played that offensive round perfectly once they got through servers, but taking more time on Tommy's POI to get inside, one, continues to pull attention towards server side, and two, once the riot shield pokes out, you know both what the play is about to be and where the push is forming. And you could argue maybe the riot shield goes over to Tommy's side, try to force that back end fight and keep the sniper at bay, but the sniper's not even going to be watching the riot shield at that point. The sniper's watching over the shoulder, and then you have your player on the ground, Toxic, taking care of the riot shield itself. So this was a bit of a dead giveaway. They kind of played their hand a little too early, but not in terms of their timing on the round, just simply didn't have a kill to really make much happen. And by that point, everything else was understood by the defense.
This is kind of a fun C-store map. You can clack directly in the storefront on this one, which gives you basically a straight shot into bathroom. And that's why defenders are really deliberating how they're going to deal with this right section of storefront. I kind of like the idea from attackers. Again, I do think you need to torch the entrance. You almost always need to do that. Then if you can clack in through storefront, well, then you open up a lot of space.
Mm-hmm.
And you really don't have to worry too much from freezer. The big fight will be in bathroom and in teller. If players split from entrance into teller, players split from storefront red door into bathroom.
Yep. It's a pretty straightforward hit, it seems like. There's really no way you're going to go arcade to office. I mean, you know there's going to be util and players around. So like you've said before, Corrali, like it kind of feels like entrance is a bit of a default hit. That's usually the call. Maybe we get a peek from Tommy and then a rotation back to site. But this should be an entrance to red door through storefront, north side of the bathroom into teller. Like that's usually going to be the call, and it looks like that will be the case as Tommy just looks for some info.
And I don't mind defenders giving this up as well. I think this is fine. You're going to force attackers into some very close quarter combats in bathroom and teller. You just don't want to give attackers a pick here. Make them push you.
Tommy's got so much space he could work with. He's just trying to listen for any footsteps. But inside we go. Toxic and Roach and Ghetto. All together. Broccoli working with Nog. Nog gonna let some shots ring out. Sees him behind the glass. They'll try to dip out of dodge. Caught in the door. Don't run into your teammate. Tommy's in.
Tommy's in, and he knows the player's in freezer as well. If he can win this fight in freezer, they'd be in a great shape. As Toxic does get a pick on defenders. Nomad on a second. Defenders are getting corralled back behind the bomb. Nog can't get one either, and this is looking dire for defenders. Broccoli taken down. Index to follow. Everyone taken down on the side of Frogs, and KHAOS just comes through and rolls them over.
And they'll take the shotgun. Tommy will take away a very important weapon from the defense. Maybe switches it out for the F1. Either way, great round. And you talked about it, Krell. You said you just need a pick. If you're the defense, you can't afford the offense to get in and start pulling you down. And what happens? They lose one member in the process, Nomad, but everybody else does their job. And Tommy, outside of the rotation, creeps inside late in the round and does such a great job of just, again, mitigating the chaos that could be happening in Freezer.
Yeah, smart there from Tommy to go back around, come in through the exterior door. At that point, Arcade was pretty free to walk into as all the defenders were stuck in office and bathroom. So that was an interesting seesaw map. And like I said, for defenders, you just can't give attackers a pick there. But on the flip side, for defenders, you do have to, when they finally do push you in those into those close quarters, you got to go 1 for 1. Yep. If you don't go 1 for 1, you see what happens. Players just collapse in. They overwhelm you.
Been there many times. One of the best teams to overwhelm you is KHAOS. Again, like, Frogs are still playing pace-wise really close to what KHAOS are putting down, but I think that word you use is really, really crucial. And it's just simply they have been overwhelmed in some of these fights, and that maybe is the difference.
So now it's KHAOS's turn on Bank to attack it, at least, and they're going to go straight through Manager. And interestingly, they do have a wall charge set up on Lobby as well. So assuming they come through entrance, I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to come through Manager and then pinch with entrance as well.
Like that idea. Hi, guys. Hello.
Hi, Nomad. Is that
What's he drawing?
a hand or a turkey?
Yeah, that's a hand.
Oh, okay, he's waving.
Either that or he's grabbing us.
That's not nice.
Either that or he's doing... I'm going to finish the other hand. There you go.
So it will be a Manager hit. Notably, nobody in security. Unless Index is going to rotate in. Nobody in security. So for this entrance, the only person who's going to see it is Dynamic.
Oh, Tommy. You little rascal. Where's Tommy going?
I like this.
Oh, what an angle. Oh, you cheeky man.
Try to get any information he can. And he's very close to seeing Ethan there.
Oh, there goes the smoke. There goes the Molly. Broccoli and Ethan. Oh, Tommy still has a cross shot. Pulling so much attention with this F1. He picked it up at the end of the last round. And Ghetto's already inside. Ghetto is so far pushed up. Oh my word, Ghetto.
It's a great break there for the defenders. Much needed from Frogs. Tommy's creeping in. Nomad trades it back. It's 4v4. Ghetto walks in. Can he take one down? No, he cannot. Dynamic takes down Ghetto. Nomad to clean it up. 3v2. Follow-ups are coming through. Roach in a fight with Index. Index takes him down from Teller. Tommy and Nomad stuck in accounting. It's just Broccoli. Now it's just Index. And he's got to push through servers. Oh, he saw the gun. He saw the gun of a player. Can he chase him down? Can he find him? He will in the corner. Tommy's taken down. Nomad knows exactly where Index is going. And Index again finding himself in a 1v1 on Bank. Into the face he goes, but Nomad takes it down. It's a 5K for Nomad with just a little sliver of health left. And Nomad gonna clutch it up.
The angry red lines all over the map now. We almost had that clutch. How frustrating it's got to be. But Nomad, the new addition, the sub on this team who was out yesterday, brought in place of the captain, 98 overall rating. One of the best players in the entire tournament, gets 5 in the round. I don't know how Nomad escaped at 20 HP when he was taking some of those 1v2s, but still did it. And with 9, clutches up and gets the round win. 4-1 now as KHAOS put one more on the board.
Wow. Great work there from Nomad. Big ace coming out from him. and much needed. And this was a guy that we were talking about, during the pre-show, I guess, before we got into the series, saying, that he was a great surprise during this preseason, had fantastic stats in the preseason, is playing today and looking great, going huge multiple times for KHAOS.
3 rounds away. They just keep it moving. I'm thinking about the riot shield. I'm thinking about it inside that door at servers.
Okay.
You think about that?
I like it. I think they agree.
Should.
I think they agree.
Shout out to all the players here this weekend. Shout out to the teams who played yesterday. Q Process, Bunny / Benoit, Mos Eisley Cantina, KHAOS, Cave Dummies Arise, Frogs. Always great to see this game being supported by great players. If you want more information, dueprocess.info. You can sign up and play the game. Come hang out. Have a great time. Full women's roster yesterday in Team Benoit.
I think the call for attackers is to go through server farm again. We saw that on the side of Frogs. But I don't know. It looks like they might be setting up to go through sorting now. Interesting that nobody wants to fight through storage. But that is a very tough fight to take, for sure.
It does feel like they could force it, though. Like, it does feel like KHAOS could force the storage fight. Like we saw yesterday, I believe it was Q Process who got the opening pick on, I think, Mel, who was sitting up top with the AR, and then they moved through office. Like, yeah, it's definitely like a chokehold. It's definitely a difficult area to force, sure. But if you play the trade, you would get so much real estate in office to play ones from that point.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest reason why you would go is to get the lights. So if you're not going to use the lights or you don't care, it might not be worth it. Looks like 3 players with night vision goggles at the moment for attackers. A couple players rolling around. Index hears all of them, rotating towards docks.
Oh, Ethan.
Whoa, Ethan, gotta run.
Get out of Dodge. Who's going to go first? Into sorting. Didn't hit anybody. This will slow the push for now, but the windup continues.
That was a darn good molly, though. He didn't get any damage, but he slowed them down.
Barkley's in a great spot as well with Nog the Frog. Shut down the opening aggressive push.
Ooh,
Tommy gets taken down. Nog with first blood. Index following up with second. Nog is low. Gotta play in the smoke here.
That's great damage onto Ethan. Down to 10. And Nog also doesn't have a ton. He's sitting in the smoke. 10 health for Nog as well.
Oh, that's a tough one to win. Even more difficult when you have a stun in your face. Ingmar 57 in the hands of Index, behind double doors, on the defuse.
Oh, there's not much they can do
Trying
here.
to peek, gets a couple of shots. That's pretty great. It's a great way to start. Gonna get him to bomb, gonna get on to bomb. Yes, able to get him in time, but won't be able to get the defuse. That's okay. You did your job. Unfortunately, the defense, or the offense, excuse me, did it better. And Nomad will come up clutch again. Back-to-back rounds, back-to-back wins. 5-1.
Very unfortunate that your last 2 players are sitting server farm and servers. And I think the attackers realized it and just planted themselves behind the defuse. There was no way. Even if it was a 1v2, you could have almost gotten that defuse in time in that 10 seconds. That's how long it would have taken those players to get around the bomb to find the angle on you.
I believe this is the start of the comeback for Frogs.
It's 5-1 in favor of KHAOS. Attacking yet again here. And it looks like they just want to walk straight in.
Got a lead, got a cushion.
Straight through checkpoint into crates, blast through lockers, riot shield to protect the back. I kind of like this play, although, you know, again, no windows are exposed from the pillbox side into crates, or I should say on the crate side of pillbox. So if you can win crates, you're in kind of a nice little hidey hole here. Especially with this riot shield, you can kind of protect yourself from pillbox, blast open lockers, and then you're in. There's only one other entrance you got to worry about from lockers through kitchen.
It's a big round. They go on match point. If you are KHAOS, you close this out, you up 6-1. Pressure mounting, onus on the shoulders of Frogs to find an answer. How do they play it? We got 10 seconds till that becomes the conversation of the day. Especially doing as an offense on this map is going to be very difficult.
Yeah, let's see how the execution goes, because you can see defenders, they're all looking at checkpoint. They're saying, yep, they're going to come here. Will not be an easy push.
They split Tommy this time? I don't think so. But it would have been a bit cheeky. Roach with the riot shield.
What's funny is, you know, defenders drew all these lines to hold at crates. There's nobody holding any of the angles. So crates is wide open. They're going to take the fights through locker and in construction.
Ethan's the only one at the moment who can help with the shots, but Nog has a LMG. Gonna let it rip through the lockers. I don't know if that's gonna work. Doesn't hit a single person. Still hunting. Still shooting, still firing. It's a kill box right now in crates. Oh no, they're all dropping. All of their angles at mid-map have gone. It's index dynamic, and Nog now pushed down to the southwest side of the map into lockers. They are stuck at bomb with not many places to rotate through.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great shot from Dynamic. Oh, that's a good flash as well. Everyone's looking at nothing but the Nog. Takes down Roach. Tommy moves in. Takes down Dynamic. He takes two. No, he can't.
Ooh.
Index and Nog hold strong as attackers were threatening. That locker's push is so hard to gain ground on.
I went from 0 to hero real quick. Real fast. Had no eyes over towards crates, Corelli. And yet it didn't matter in the end.
So now with every win on the side of KHAOS puts more and more pressure here for Frogs. 5-2, we go to Kill Dome. Still on the attacking side is KHAOS. What's that? We hitting beach?
We doing beach yet?
Are we going to the beach?
Are we going to the beach? Beach?
We might. Personally, I always go beach, but gotta send at least one. Well, I'm sitting here casting, not playing, so. Look at it. See, Ghetto's my man. Ghetto knows what's going on. I just feel like you always got to send one to the beach.
How do we think Tommy's going to play this map? Do you think Tommy... I don't know if they're going to hit the pit, but do you think Tommy goes beach because they love to keep him kind of on an out route and they send everybody else maybe up towards... what would be on Drawbridge side above jungle?
Yeah, I don't know if that's like a strat from them or if he just finds himself in that situation most often and tries to be a little more unpredictable. But I don't hate it. I do think this map does call for a bit more of a split approach than just bum rushing castle or something like that.
Another big round here for Index, Ethan, Nog the Frog, Broccoli, and Dynamic of Team Frogs. 5-3 is very, 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 very different than 5-2 in terms of the mental for players. 5-3 is, oh crap, we can do this. 5-2 is, God, we got to win this round.
Yeah, very curious to see what the push is from attackers here. I believe it is Beach. It is indeed.
Shield.
And there's actually nobody watching Beach. There's actually nobody in jungle either. They're all stacked in castle, which is kind of the power position of this map. It normally is when it generates.
And we all hit Beach. So you got your wish, Corelli. They got the wall charge as well. They might just blow their way through it.
I got that. Nog has the torch. He's letting it rip.
How do you get through this? Nog rotating up top. This is an interesting call here from KHAOS.
The problem is for attackers, there's so many places that defenders can sit on castle that, I mean, you're going to lose numbers here for sure. Here they go, but they go right into the molly. Ghetto's all the way in. He snuck through. Did defenders know?
See him? I don't think they saw him.
They might not know. And this is huge for attackers. Another one goes through Roach. And now they'll just assume that players are there. Toxic trades out. Roach goes down. Nog gets one on Nomad. Toxic goes down as well. Defenders winning the fight so far.
Edo gets Ethan. Still somehow alive. Index has to back up. Nog is the anchor for this entire hold defensively. Tommy now making a move. Broccoli up close with a shotgun. Broccoli's going to have to make a play on bomb. Broccoli trying to get there. He'll land it up just in time. Gets tagged, but does his job.
Oh.
In the far back, Nog moves up as well. Ghetto, the only one alive now in a 1v2. 21 seconds to go. He's got 10 on the clock to work with and 52 HP.
Oh, he's going to get one. Does he know where Nog is? He's just going to defuse it right behind Nog. Nog, can he put the shots down? It's a gunfight and nobody's connecting. Nog finally does. And defenders coming out on top. Frogs get their third.
Here we go. 5-3 is a lot different than 5-2. We keep it moving. A big win and a bit of a dicey, unusually sloppy round from KHAOS as an offense, but still credit where credit's due to Frogs. They do not panic and they get the round.
Man, that's a tough push from attackers as well. It's aggressive to go into castle like that. It's definitely the best call, I think. But going into castle, there's just so many lines for the defense to shoot you, and you saw that basically, you know, when Ghetto first ran in, he's just risking his life, hoping that he can get to the other side. So we keep going. 5-3 now. As KHAOS stays on the attacking side into C-Store.
Oh man, one round at a time. I mean, now if you're sitting as KHAOS, you're like, yeah, we were going to try to win, but you're also thinking about the tie here. Just by the way this momentum's been swinging, it's not just about getting to the 6th round for match point. It's also about securing that no matter what happens, at the end of 12, when all's said and done, we will get a point. Feeling very confident if I'm Frogs right now.
I'm feeling good. Now they're going to have to watch out for this bathroom push, is I think what's going to happen here from KHAOS. Tight quarters all the way up into the bomb. Through bathroom, into teller. Around into office. Going to take some good gunfights here if attackers are going to win this one.
Can't wait to see how it unfolds. Again, viewprocess.info to play the game and enjoy more perfect tactical FPS. A real American patriot, you'll download View Process.
Okay.
That plug was verified by Corelli. The original American Patriot. There we go. Round number 9. They're just in.
Yeah, they can drop in through office there. They don't have any charges, so it's just going to be full face tank in. They also don't have anything to deal. Oh, no, they do have a charge. Excuse me. Oh. Nope. Clacker.
And still up. It's still up. Not for long. That shotgun's going to make it more difficult. Nog going to have to back up. Nomad's hunting down, chasing, flying, but Nog stands his ground, stands it to a T. Tommy neutralizes Broccoli. Nog still up. Perfect shots on the Tommy.
I'm not sure what the plan was with this door charge that Toxic's been holding on to. It might just pay off in the end. Ooh, Nog does get roached. It's a 1v1. Nog sitting in entrance in the smoke. Toxic wants to kill. He's not even thinking about the bomb. I don't know if Nog knows where Toxic is, and he does not. Caught looking the wrong way. Toxic gets the kill, and he's able to get the defuse as well.
Wow, Nog got 3 in the round, but just checked the wrong corner. And that's a tough one. So, Crowley, let's go back to kind of the beginning of this round in Teller. We saw originally it was Ethan with the riot shield. You kind of stall that push from office. Ethan backs up to Teller. They avoid the molly. Ethan goes down. But then from there, outside of storefront, this big circle right here, everybody just started taking one-on-ones. What were you seeing that was kind of breaking this round out?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. There's a lot of one-on-ones, a lot of trading that did happen for a second, but ultimately I feel like the slower paced gameplay coming out from Toxic, wrapping around, taking out and trading out the last 2 of his teammates, got himself into that 1v1. That's the big turning point, I feel like. And then just creeping around, catching the last man off guard. Pretty clinical from him, I'd say, as he puts his team on or rather the opposite team on match point. 6-3 in favor of KHAOS. Winning this one wins them the series, wins them both the sets here on Sunday. As KHAOS.
Demon mode.
What is going on?
That is the outlet pass in due process right there.
Now, when we saw KHAOS play this one on attackers, they did something very similar. They came through checkpoint and then door charge lockers. It looks like it's going to be a wall charge coming out from Frogs. But what we found was it was very tough for teams to win this backside of lockers. That was the hardest part. See if Frogs have any more luck.
Very angry grimace at the bottom of our screen. Yeah. What you look like.
Okay. That's crazy.
Not all days, just sometimes. You can do more drawings like this as well. You want to be Picasso? Come hang out at dueprocess.info.
What is that?
The last time we were on this map, it was all 3 defenders being pulled back southwest towards bomb. They bunker up, they win it, and that was the beginning of the run that we saw Frogs go on. Do we see a similar result here?
It's a very similar thing, but oh, look at this defensive setup. Ghetto and Tommy both sitting in checkpoint. Previously, defenders of this map just gave up everything in crates. Not this time. They are taking the fight. Fireworks are going to fly here right off the bat.
They're going to wall charge. Oh my god. Oh, Broccoli. Okay. I don't think Ghetto and Tommy are going to move at all. They're just going to sit and wait.
Yeah.
The patience is perfection.
This is a great setup.
Offense has no idea. They have absolutely... Why should they? They have no idea.
And Ghetto and Tommy,
Ghetto
they're,
right here.
they're not going to peek until they get confirmation that they're going to move in, and they do. Ghetto's taken down immediately. Tommy does get 1. Tommy gets 2. Can Tommy get 3? Everyone melted down. No, it's just Broccoli in a 1v2.
Such an unfair way to go. Broccoli's going to have to make a play happen. If we concede back to the bus, there's no reason to. You got to try to win this outright.
Yeah, you have to win it. Oh,
this is for the game.
Low health. 20 health. Unimaginable clutch if he can do it. The defenders are playing deep. Tiny bit of util. I think he's going to go back for the wall charge. It's going to be cutting it close with time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And read perfectly by the defense. KHAOS taking their second set 7-3 over Frogs. And a valiant effort there at the end from Broccoli. But what can you do? You're in a tough situation with no health. And KHAOS superior here today on Sunday.
7-3 in back-to-back games. Frogs put up a much tougher fight than I think we initially expected. In the pre-show, at least, Corelli, they seem to be, again, keeping pace with this squad and KHAOS, but at the end of the day, when it came to just separating themselves between the two squads, in a lot of those crunch times, we look back to C-Store, the couple of 1v1s from Nog, it was those moments where KHAOS were just a step ahead today. They were just constantly in a better position to close it out, and then you see at the end with Toxic and Tommy, or Ghetto, excuse me, Ghetto and Tommy, those are the moments where it's like, as an offense, one, how do you read that in that moment? And two, what can you do once the play starts breaking down? And this team clearly has an understanding of how they're going to win this map. It was KHAOS's day all day, every day. And for Frogs, they really put up a good showing. But they ran into a better team today, and KHAOS just looked like the team to beat again from yesterday.
Yeah, and not to mention a couple X-Factor moments. You think of Nomad's ace there on Bank as well. I mean, that's huge coming out for his side. So those types of moments were definitely the big game changer moments. But overall, I mean, I think the expectation, at least from my side, was that KHAOS was going to come and execute on the attacking side. I think maybe even more so, they executed so well on the defensive side to close out this series. So more of the expectation, I think, than what we expected, or sorry, more of the expectation from KHAOS, and they certainly met it here on Sunday.
Person in chat says, Nog winning that is the same as Justin's 0-second goal against Dignitas. For real, for real. Hey, you said it, not us. That is the exact same play, and quite literally
he's still
the same
lost.
Result.
He's still lost.
So same play, same result, but credit where credit is due. It's a good shout, and Frogs look like a team that, again, they're playing above their weight class in this match. And Corelli, the silver lining for me is just simply when KHAOS got chaotic, they were able to handle a lot of it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was quite as bad as the hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby, but it certainly looked KHAOS being the better team. That first set much closer early, but I do think there was a couple tight games throughout that second set where I felt like Frogs really could flip it on its head, and we'd be talking differently at the end of this round.
Yeah, we would absolutely be speaking different about this Frogs team, but keep an eye on them as they move through the tournament. Again, nobody's out in the first week, but certainly teams that would be expecting a little bit more. Taking a quick look once more, it's Cave Dummies, Arise, and KHAOS as the top three teams. I'm sure Arise and KHAOS have moved up a slot. Q Process right behind them. That is where we currently sit. And Corelli, we have just concluded 2 days of action for week 1 here for Due Process. Give me some of your closing thoughts as we round out the last series and as KHAOS continued to go on a 2-0 streak in back-to-back days.
Yeah, as far as the gameplay goes, this has been a lot of fun. We saw a lot of great gameplay yesterday. The KHAOS Mos Eisley Cantina was a really fun series to watch. And then today, really like seeing the executes coming out from Arise. I felt like they were the most patient and the most skillful when it came to their execution. It was good to see KHAOS again. We get our feet just a little bit more wet with them and understanding how they play. So overall, a lot of great gameplay that we saw from yesterday and today. Excited to dive deeper into it and see how the Swiss stage pans out.
Yeah, man, this was a fun one. It was great to be on here for week number 1 of Due Process. Remember, dueprocess.info to find out more information about both the league and how you can sign up and play the game. There's a QR code on your screen. You know how technology works. Take your phone, scan it, give us your information. And you can download the game and come play with us because we have great lobbies running on Due Process. It's a hell of a fun time, and playing late on this game at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. is an absolute blast. The player base is super, super nice, super helpful. Come join one of the best FPSs on the market if you're a attack shooter fan. DueProcess.info or scan the QR code to get yourself involved with the game. That's going to do it here for us, though, from Corelli, from myself, from all the production on the back end. We want to thank you so much for watching Due Process League here for the first week of Saturday and Sunday. We will be back on the 19th and 20th of July. So if you want to stay more involved with Due Process, you can check it out both in the Discord and available descriptions here on the Twitch channel, on Twitter. Download the game, come hang out with some of the best tack shooters on the world, on the planet. That's the better way to say that. And thank you so much for watching today and this weekend. We'll see you next time for week number 2. And as always, much love to you.